CLTV, Chicagoland's television.
It's a night of celebration as the Chicago Wolves and their fans put the exclamation point on another dream season, a second Turner Cup, and raise another set of banners here at the Allstate Arena. It's also a night of introduction as the latest edition of the Chicago Wolves skate on home ice for the first time this season, beginning in earnest their defense of the championship. But waiting in the wings, their Turner Cup rivals, the Grand Rapids Griffins, hoping to put some punctuation of their own on tonight's festivities. Get set for a night of past, present, and future. It's Chicago Wolves hockey next. Wolves fans have been gathering outside the Allstate Arena starting at 2 o'clock with a tailgate party. A little bit later, they will head on inside to get a chance to visit the Wolves for the first time this year. It's their 7th home opener in team history as they meet the Grand Rapids Griffins here at the Allstate Arena. Hello again, everybody. Judd Surratt, welcome back for another season of Wolves hockey. I'm reunited with my old partner, Jim Blaney. Good to have you back.
Oh, it's great to be back, Judd. You got a Turner Cup with me 2 years ago. You got one last year without me, so I want to see one more. This is the rubber series for me.
Well, we'll see what the Wolves can do for you this year, Jim. The Wolves have an excellent crew returning from last year's championship and a great new mix.
Well, and it's funny how things have kind of changed around for the Wolves after winning that Turner Cup last year, because remember, they kind of knuckleballed along for 3/4 of the season last year before getting incredibly hot to close the regular season, and then the march didn't stop until they brought the Turner Cup back here to the Allstate Arena. But now the Wolves find themselves, without a doubt, as the preeminent franchise in the IHL. They've won 2 Turner Cups in the last 3 years. They've been to the conference finals the last 3 years. And now the Wolves have to play with a little bit of different pressure on them. The pressure of every night, you know that team coming across at you from the other side of the ice, they want to knock you off because they know you are the best. A lot of teams, they'll be able to make their season, make their night at least, by knocking off the chance. But you know what? With the talent this Wolves team has, if you believe all the preseason predictions, the cup is theirs for the taking if they can put together a strong season in 2000-2001.
Well, Jim, the guy who has the most Turner Cup rings with the Wolves, 2, Wendell Young, also has the most championship rings overall with the team. He is back to anchor this squad. His 7th year with the team, 18th year pro.
Well, Judd, it's interesting because when the Wolves won their first Turner Cup a few seasons ago, one of the topics of discussion was, would Wendell Young come back and try it again? Well, not only did he try it again, he tried it again, and he's trying it again this year. 3 more years for Wendell Young after winning the first Turner Cup. And you know what? Wendell Young, for as long as he's been a pro, last year was one of his best seasons as a pro. So when you're playing as well as Wendell Young is, why quit? You might as well keep playing because Wendell Young is on top of his game. Now we have kind of a back-end goaltender story here. We've got the experience of Wendell Young, and we've got young Rick DiPietro, who's also going to see some time for the Wolves this season. This guy's a fantastic story. He was the #1 overall pick in the 2000 entry draft, the first goaltender ever to be selected #1 overall in the entry draft. Now, the New York Islanders have big plans for this young man, and he's going to get there. He's a marvelous technical goaltender, but the thing he is lacking is pro experience. And the main reason why the New York Islanders have sent him here to Chicago to play is because the Islanders want him to play in a winning organization where the name of the game is winning and the name of the game is being a pro. They feel he can learn that faster here than anywhere else. So he's sent here to Chicago. I think it's a great move by the Islanders, and it certainly benefits the Wolves.
And a great thing for DiPietro and the rest of the Wolves is that they have most of their continuity back on defense. 6 players are back from last year's championship team.
Yeah, it's amazing. The Wolves, through this great run of going to the conference finals 3 years in a row and winning 2 Turner Cups, what's been the constant? These guys playing back on defense, especially Bob Nardella, Glenn Featherstone, Tom Tilley, Kevin Dahl, and Chris LaPuma. They have been here the whole way, and then Dallas Aikens came back last year and helped the Wolves get back to a Turner Cup championship. When you're solid on defense, you can have a lot of nights where maybe things aren't going quite as well as you'd like, but you can always rely on that rock-solid defense. Dallas Aikens, here's what's amazing about this guy. You talk about experience as a pro, 728 games as a professional hockey player. That's what you wanted back on defense. And not only that, the Wolves also, in addition to having Dallas Aikens and the rest of the guys you're also familiar with, they got a couple other guys, Dan Treble and Yevgeny Korolev, also playing back in the blue line. Korolev, another guy, kind of like DiPietro. The Islanders have big plans for him, but they want him to play in a setting where he's going to learn winning. There's a big difference, trust me, between developing as a player and learning to win. And I love the Islanders' young talent. I'm wondering how much we might get here during the course of the year, just because this organization, the Chicago Wolves, they put a premium on winning, and that's one thing that's very hard to teach young players.
Up front is where fans, Jim, will probably notice most of the new names, but they have a big guy back in the middle. Their comeback player of the year in the International Hockey League, Steve LaRouche, was second in the league in points.
Yeah, if you haven't picked up hockey news from last week, I encourage you to do so, because there's a nice write-up about Steve LaRouche in there, pointing out the fact that, yes, Steve Malte, who is now with the Columbus Blue Jackets, has always been a marvelous goal scorer for the Wolves. But Steve Malte, remember, he's the best finisher we've ever seen. And the reason why Steve Malte has always thrived, A, because he knows how to put the puck in the net when he gets it, but he's always had a guy to get him the puck. In the last 2 years, it's been Steve LaRouche that has done that for the Wolves and done it for Steve Malte. The only thing different for Steve LaRouche now is he's got to get it to a little bit different trigger guy this year. And Wolves fans are going to be happy that number 44 is back in the lineup for the Wolves this coming season. Rob Brown has had some marvelous seasons here in Chicago. He's back. And you know what? Rob Brown has always been a marvelous scorer. But you know what? He is probably playing his best hockey as a pro right now, because he spent the last few seasons in Pittsburgh, and his role in Pittsburgh was totally different than the role he was playing here in Chicago. Because with the Wolves, Rob Brown was always one of the tops in the IHL goal scorers and points leaders, because he's a marvelous scorer. But Rob Brown went to the NHL to play with the Penguins, had to play more of a checking role. So now Rob Brown comes back, and you can throw him out there in any situation. He's going to be one of the best players on the ice. That's the benefit of having Rob Brown back for the Wolves this year. Also, the Wolves have a guy who's been tearing up the American Hockey League for the last few years, in Mike Maneluk, who is suiting up for the team as well. Mike Maneluk led the AHL in goal scoring last year. He's going to be in the lineup as well. So you look at this Wolves lineup, they have one of the best IHL goal scorers the past few years in Rob Brown. Put Mike Maneluk in there too. These guys can flat out score some goals, and that's what everybody's worried about around this league, Judd.
Absolutely. We didn't mention a guy, Robert Petrovicki, 2 goals and 4 points on opening night as the Wolves trounced Cincinnati 8-3. However, the rest of the Wolves team and that offense not very good last night in Milwaukee as the Admirals hand the Wolves their first loss of the season, 4-2. Jim and I will bring you back in just a moment to break down tonight's game as the Wolves meet the Grand Rapids Griffins. Chicago Wolves hockey has been brought to you by Craftsman. Find them on the web at www.sears.com/craftsman. And by Clark. When it comes to great prices, Clark is the real deal. And by Coca-Cola, proud sponsor of the IHL Turner Cup champion Chicago Wolves. Coca-Cola, enjoy. Jim and I will bring you back in a moment. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
That is so sweet.
Hey, here's your free phone for making the donation.
Want a free digital phone and $20 sporting goods cash? Donate $20 to Special Olympics from Cellular One.
Anyone can offer you insurance or need it. Allstate introduces the Good Hands Network with Allstate.com, 1-800-ALLSTATE, and your local agent. Fully connected, working together to help meet your needs on your schedule. And only the Good Hands Network offers you an agent, no matter how you come to us. It's the best way yet to put you in good hands.
to the Wolves home opener. They're 7th in team history. The Wolves 5-1-0 in their previous openers. And Jim, as we take a look at the LaSalle Bank matchup tonight on our storyline, as the Wolves meet the Grand Rapids Griffins, a very good team. Early in the season, it's important for the Wolves to keep it simple because they have so many new players.
Exactly right. When you're at this point of the season, you go back to basics because that's winning hockey, because the systems aren't totally installed, and sometimes, well, you know what, Chud, almost all the time during the year, the basic play is many times the right play. Let's give you a couple of examples and show you. Watch Kevin Dahl here. Takes it behind the net, brings it around the boards. He knows exactly where Dan Plana is going to be. He doesn't mess around. Just gets it out in the neutral zone. Simple play, but very, very effective. Now, I want you to watch this one. This is where the Wolves just work on keeping it down low. Don't move it back toward the point where you have all sorts of traffic. Just keep it down low and let guys start cycling toward the net. That's how you keep it simple. That's how you play winning hockey in the early part of the year until you can get enough practices under your belt where you can really get into your own system.
Jim, a lot of pomp, a lot of circumstance, obviously, tonight, because it's not only the home opener, but the Wolves will also be raising their second Turner Cup championship banner. The game will be delayed slightly as they go through the festivities, so it's important for the team to be able to keep its focus and keep its head.
Well, you want the players to enjoy this because this is what you played so hard for all last year, is so that you can come back and get more of the adulation you earned by being a champion. But you have to learn to harness your emotions. So let's go back to last year, Game 5 of the Turner Cup Finals. The Wolves, the packed house, the champagne was on ice. They were ready to lift the Turner Cup. And Grand Rapids won Game 5 and forced the series back to Grand Rapids for a 6th game. One of the problems the Wolves felt they had in that game was the fact that, you know what, they were so emotional. They so much wanted to wrap it up at home that it got a little bit hard to concentrate on the business at hand. So John Anderson had to take the guys up to Michigan and bring the Turner Cup back from there.
The Wolves will be facing the Griffins tonight, who have started the season out 3-0, one of only 3 unbeaten teams thus far early in the IHL season. This is a team the Wolves eliminated last year in 6 games, and there's a ton of guys back in Grand Rapids who remember what happened last year.
Slava Butsayev and Peter Slavslevy being 2 of those guys. But here's the amazing thing about Grand Rapids, Chud. They're 3-0. They've only outscored their opposition by 3 goals. Now, I'm no math genius, but I am guessing that's the smallest margin by which you can outscore your opponent and still have 3 wins. So the Grand Rapids Griffins have gotten off to that 3-0 start this year by winning some tight games. And you know what? You win tight games, I look at that as a very good sign.
Last year, the Wolves were the best team in the IHL on home ice, going 26-10-5, Jim. And the Wolves will get a chance to start their 7th season here at the Allstate Arena. It began back on October 14th, 1994. It'll get underway again here on October 14th, 2000, as the Wolves meet the Griffins. Bring you back in a moment for the championship banner-raising ceremony. This is Chicago Wolves Hockey.
Jimmy? Thought you were going to clean your room.
Yeah, right.
Jimmy! Grandma Nana's on the phone.
She's your mother.
Jimmy, are you gonna do your homework?
What for?
Can you put away the dishes?
No hablo inglés.
Can you please take out the trash?
Talk to the hand, cause Jimmy ain't listening.
Page 456, Military Schools. Another problem solved, courtesy of the Ameritech Yellow Pages.
This Energy Spotlight is brought to you by Nicor Gas.
You never know how much heat you'll need to get through a Chicago winter. To make sure there's always enough gas to keep you warm, gas companies keep an extra supply underfoot. There's not enough room in the pipeline network to keep up with demand during the cold months, so they store the gas where they found it, in the ground. Far beneath the soil is a layer of sandstone and water. The gas is injected into the porous sand and is kept from leaking by natural, dome-shaped cap rock or shale that lies just above the sandstone.
We drill the wells that penetrate through the shale into the sandstone layer, and when we inject the gas, being lighter than water, it just sits on the bottom just below that shale layer and occupies all the pore spaces between that sandstone layer.
They fill up these reservoirs during the summer months when gas prices are at their lowest. This keeps the costs down for the company and its customers.
Prices are up right now, and a lot of that is driven by the additional demand on gas for electric generation. But with our storage reservoirs, we're still able to purchase that gas at the most competitive price.
It doesn't stop the fluctuation of gas prices on your bill, but it does help. And the underground reservoirs guarantee warmth against winter's wrath. Eric Schmidt, CLTV.
Stay tuned for more local news right here on CLTV.
Welcome back once again to the Allstate Arena. A jam-packed house here. Last time the Wolves were at home, Game 5 of the Turner Cup Finals, 18,000 plus jammed in. It will be close to that tonight. And, Jim, fans get a chance to see the refurbished Allstate Arena. It looks beautiful as they finish the upper deck here.
Well, not being here last year, Judd, and walking into the building tonight, it was like coming into an entirely different facility. All the changes that they've been planning for the last few years are now complete. Don't forget the IHL All-Star Game will be here this season coming up in January. And the folks out here in Rosemont have done an absolutely marvelous job with this facility. And Wolves fans certainly have a great place to come watch hockey. Last night, I was out at the Naperville Central, Naperville North football game, and I'm telling you what, I have not seen on consecutive nights more packed arenas than the last two I've been in the last 2 nights, between the game there last night out in Naperville and what's going on here in Rosemont tonight. It's just absolutely marvelous. And another neat thing that's going on, too, with the Wolves is now that they're in this 7th season, the franchise is starting to build up a little bit of history behind it. And on the jerseys of the fans, you start to see some of the great names of the players that have played here for the Wolves over the course of the last 7 seasons. It's marvelous.
Please welcome your 2000-2001 Chicago Wolves. But first, please welcome number 94, the Chicago Wolves mascot, Skates. Chicago Wolves, number 1, Wendell Young. Number 4, Kevin Dahl. Number 5, Dan Treble. Number 6, Dallas Aikens. Number 7, Bob Nardella. Number 9, Neil Brady. Number 10, Steve LaRouche. Number 12, Jesse Belanger. Number 14, Mike Maniluk. Number 15, Evgeny Korolev. Number 16, Brian Noonan. Number 17, Hickey. Number 19, Glenn Featherstone. Number 21, Tom Tilley. Number 24, Mark Lawrence. Number 27, Dan Plant. Number 28, Paul Cruz. Number 29, Chris LaPuma. Number 37, Rick DiPietro. And number 44, Rob Brown.
Well, the Chicago Wolves 2000-2001 roster introduced here, and Rick DiPietro got a loud roar, especially from a lot of the young people here in attendance.
Isn't it amazing how everybody knows who this guy is already? And Jed, I'll tell you what, Kickstart My Heart never sounded so good to me after being away from it for a little while.
It's a packed house. One of the Wolves' regrets, if they have one regret, Jim, from last year, is that they did not have a chance to wrap things up on home ice before that huge crowd. And I think a few players will also have that in mind tonight here on opening night against Grand Rapids.
Well, and again, Judd, too, I think the thing for this team to do, and I'm going to make this comparison right now because I think it's appropriate. I think this team is equivalent to some of those Bulls championship teams we saw, where you're going to be measured about how well you do night in and night out, how far this team can raise the bar throughout the year, because this is an incredibly talented team. They've got all the weapons. They should really be able to make some things happen. But I do think hockey is a lot more difficult than basketball because I think there's a lot more intangibles that can enter into it. But I really think this team that you are looking at on the ice right now, with the mix of veterans, with the mix of a couple younger guys, I really think they have a chance to be something very, very special this year.
And I think in talking to General Manager Kevin Cheveldayoff before the game, and we will play that interview for you a little bit later in the second intermission, he realizes that this team isn't going to be a team for about a month and a half as things shake out, because there are so many talented guys on the Wolves roster. There are going to be some call-ups, there are going to be some switches in the roster, and invariably some injuries. But when it shakes down, it's going to be unbelievable. At this time, let's turn it over to the Senior VP, Wayne Messmer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2000-2001 Chicago Wolves season opener. We are here tonight to celebrate the raising of the Fred Huber Jr. Memorial Banner, celebrating the fact that the Wolves finished on top of the regular season with a record of 53-21-8 and a league-high 114 points. We will also raise the Western Conference Championship banner as the Wolves defeated the defending Turner Cup champion Houston Aeros after being down 2-0 in a series and down 3-0 in a third game, but never giving up. And finally, we will celebrate the Turner Cup championship with a hoisting of the banner after the Wolves defeated the Grand Rapids Griffins in Game 6 by the score of 3-1. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome several dignitaries from the Chicago Wolves. The president of the Chicago Wolves Booster Club, Bill Malik. From Hockey Operations, Mike Nardella. The assistant coach, Marty Howe. President of the International Hockey League, Doug Moss. Head trainer of the Wolves, Kevin Kaser. Wolves equipment manager, Craig Kogut. The Allstate Arena Executive Director, Harry Pappas. Assistant General Manager, Gene Ubriaco. General Manager, Kevin Cheveldayoff. The Mayor of Rosemont, Donald E. Stevens. And the Chairman of the Board and Governor, Mr. Don Levin and his son, Robert. Fans, let's recap some incredible achievements from an incredible season. Several individual accomplishments of the year happened last year for players that have returned this year. Steve LaRouche won the John Cullen Award for Comeback Player of the Year. LaRouche also led the league with 57 assists and was second in scoring in the IHL. Glenn Featherstone was tied for the league lead among defensemen in playoffs, scoring 3 goals. And Wendell Young recorded a franchise record 6 shutouts and 32 wins last season. Now, Wolves fans, please direct your attention to the video wall as we look at a season to remember. Now this is the law of the jungle, as old and as true as the sky. And the wolf that shall keep it may prosper, but the wolf that shall break it must die. As the creeper that girdles the tree trunk, the law runneth forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. Welcome back, head coach of your champion Chicago Wolves, John Anderson, and the Turner Cup. At this time, we'd like to introduce the chairman of the Chicago Wolves, Mr. Don Levin, who will present the championship ring to goaltender Wendell Young. And once again, chairman of the Chicago Wolves, Don Levin.
Welcome back. Summer was just short enough, huh? Played enough hockey last season just to the last day, and that's what we wanted to do. And hopefully we'll do that again this year. I'd like to thank the players that were here last year for everything they did. And I'd like to thank all the players for all the things they're going to do. I don't have much to say, but I think we're going to look forward to a great hockey season. And I thank you for being here. Thanks very much. That's all I got to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wolves fans, this is the moment we have waited for. Let's celebrate the 2000 Turner Cup Championship. It's time to raise the championship banner.
A terrific show here at the Allstate Arena to kick off the 2000-2001 season. And what could start it any better than raising championship banners to the rafters here at the Allstate Arena. Jim and I will bring you back in just a moment. The starting lineups, an opening face-off. Game one here at home at the Allstate Arena for the Wolves, and a rematch of last year's Turner Cup Finals against the Grand Rapids Griffins. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
Fame and fortune and everything that goes with it. I thank you all. But it's...
Is this the way you like your sports? Hard-hitting, action-packed, no punches pulled. Then team up with the Chicago Sun-Times, the only newspaper that delivers sports coverage the way you want it. Chicago Sun-Times, Chicago's #1 newspaper for sports. For home delivery, call 1-888-84-TIMES.
Trucks. Fundamentally tougher than any panty-waist car. Hey, no one ever wrote a song about his first hatchback. At Craftsman, we figured the only thing better than trucks is racing trucks. So we're the official tools of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Tough trucks, tougher drivers, and the toughest tools. Craftsman.
Judd Surratt and Jim Blaney back inside the Allstate Arena, where they have finished hoisting the Wolves championship banners, 3 of them in total. including obviously the signature banner, the Wolves 2000 Turner Cup Championship. At this time, let's step aside as Wayne and Kathleen Messmer will do the honors with the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, while this is a tremendously festive night for the Chicago Wolves, before we begin tonight's game and the singing of our national anthem, may we take a moment in honor of the men and women of the USS Cole who were tragically wounded or killed this week while serving our country proudly in Yemen. At this time, we ask for a respectful moment of silence. Thank you. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
A tremendous job done by Wayne and Kathleen Messmer, especially Wayne for being the master of ceremonies on the ice as we're about ready to get underway with the first home game of the season. The starting lineups tonight. First for the Wolves, it'll be Wendell Young back in net, Dan Treble and Glenn Featherstone on defense. Up front at center, Jesse Belanger. On the right side, Brian Noonan. And on the left side, Mike Manilow. Scratches for the Wolves. Only two. Both defensemen, Evgeny Korolev, who just arrived recently from the New York Islanders, young 22-year-old Russian defenseman, and Chris LaPuma, a scratch tonight for the Wolves. Both of them healthy. The All-State goaltending matchup tonight features two very different type of goaltenders. Wendell Young in his 18th year pro, 7th year with the Wolves, 32-12-4 last season with Chicago. Those 32 wins at second best in the league, second in shutouts with 6. He faces Chad Albin, who has played only 6 games in the IHL in his career, a former All-American from Michigan State University. In Mobile last year, 25-13-1. This is his first appearance. It is Young's second. He only played briefly last night, didn't face a shot. The first-year head coach of the Griffins is Bruce Butch Cassidy, the former Blackhawk who played parts of 6 seasons with the Hawks, former #1 pick. His counterpart, John Anderson, the head coach of the Wolves in his 4 seasons. He has managed more than 50 wins in each of his previous 3 and won 2 Turner Cup championships. An incredible mark. 157 wins in 3 years. They drop the puck and we are underway as Travis Richards drives it into the far corner of the Wolves zone. We'll see how the legs stand up after standing for most of the ceremonies along the blue line. Now right side at center ice, the Wolves able to backhand it to the Griffins line. Out at center ice, Bouchard able to scoop it up and he'll race back into his own zone. Joel Bouchard shovels it up the glass near side and out to center ice. Featherstone quickly over the line right side for Newman. Shoots. Albin a blocker save on that. Knuckler. Back of the net, the Griffins fired around to the near side. Featherstone pitches, it gets by him, an odd man the other way. If they hurry, over the line, high slot, looking in and firing. It's Butsayev, and Young faces his first shot of the season, and it comes from one of the most skilled players in the league, and he stops him point blank. Slava Butsayev. Butsayev with 2 goals and 3 points here early in the season. And the puck winds up on the Griffins bench, and we've got to stop and play.
Judd, you briefly mentioned the fact. Well, go ahead, set the refs for us, and I'll get to the point.
Jerry Pateman, the referee, the linesman Stephen Campbell, and Peter Cicci.
Jerry Pateman won the 1976 U.S. Open at the Atlanta Athletic Club. 5-iron on 18. No, the point I wanted to make is you wonder which team has the advantage: the Grand Rapids Griffins, who warmed up and then went and sat, or the Wolves, who warmed up and then went and stood.
Well, the Griffins knew when the faceoff was going to be, so I'm going to say it's going to be an advantage to the Griffins, but the Griffins have not played well in the first period this year, and neither have the Wolves. The Wolves, in fact, have only one first-period goal in their first 2 games, and each time it's been the opponent that has opened the scoring.
You never want to be the team that opens on a banner night.
High slot of the Wolves zone. Tilly backhands it up the middle and out to center ice. Here's Petrovicki racing for the puck into the right circle. Looks in, backhand, behind the net. Wrap around. That got kicked away by one of the Grand Rapids defensemen. And now the Griffins will kick it up the middle and back out to center ice into the Wolves zone. Far side of the neutral zone, Brown. Will backhand it deep into the Griffins' end. A race for the puck. And Petrovicki gets there first. No icing. Near point, Nardella. Bob Nardella has ascended into the middle for Brown. That pass got blocked. Far corner now. Spinning. One of the Griffins. High slot now. Nardella shoots, and Albin able to deflect that away. Back of the Griffins' net. Digging for it once again is Petrovicki, the ex-Griffin. Now far corner, Brown, right circle, LaRouche shoots. Albin the save on that changeup. LaRouche didn't get much on it, but he's able to hold. 18:08 left in the first, and we're scoreless.
Steve LaRouche out on his first shift. Chad Albin, we saw him play a few years ago, get a call-up with the Houston Aeros when they had a little goaltending disaster. Steve LaRouche on the dot, gets a lot on it. Very simple way to tell if a goaltender's on. Where does the puck hit him when he makes a save? This one hits Chad Albin right in the chest, out on top of the crease. Pretty nice stop. Good positioning by the young goaltender.
LaRouche will grab a seat. Only 1 assist thus far in the first 2 games. Griffins win the draw deep in their own zone. Back of his net, Joel Kwiatkowski, whose name barely fits on the back of that jersey. There are a couple guys like that on this Griffins team. Over the line, right side, Emmons. High slot. Sends it into the middle. The Wolves kick it over to the near corner. Now near corner, Sheslevy. He's a bull. Right corner now, Dahl steps into Emmons. Emmons still stood up by Dahl. Back of it, Neil Brady. Brady feeds one up the middle, and coming ahead is Dan Plante. Over the red line, over the blue line, right side, swept off his stick by Demidov. Far corner now, Plante digging away against the rookie Demidov. Plante still won't give way, loses his footing. Puck is still free. Plante gets back up, showing great strength. This is his forte along the wall. Far corner, Lawrence couldn't get command of that puck. Evans bangs it off the end boards and over to the near side. And finally, the Griffins break out. 17-12 remaining in the first, and we're scoreless. Over the line, right side now, Sheslevy shoots. Young, a glove save, and he holds on. 17:06 left in the first, we're scoreless, and now a little activity after the play, and now behind the Wolves' net.
Well, you wonder how much the rivalry is going to get ignited, Judd, when you meet for a championship and one team ends up empty after a full year and the other team takes all the spoils. You wonder if the Grand Rapids Griffins might not want to get in the face of the Wolves a little bit. You get a look at the A on the sweater of Dallas Aikens. The Wolves do not have a captain this year. They have assistant captains, and we certainly, anybody associated with the Wolves, we wish all the luck in the world to Steve Malte in Columbus this year. We'd love to have him here, but we're glad he's getting a shot there as well. You see another one of the assistant captains, Steve LaRouche, but Dallas Aikens is going to take a seat for a couple of minutes.
2 minutes for roughing, and the Griffins will head to the power play for the first time. The Griffins power play 2 for 19. The Wolves penalty killing 7 of 9 here early. John Anderson's team was scored against last night on Milwaukee's first power play chance last night at the Bradley Center. The Wolves fired up the far side and down the length of the ice. Alvin leaves it behind his net. He's forced to play it, however, because of the speed of Manilow. Far corner now, Mike Crowley, an excellent offensive defenseman out of Bloomington, Minnesota, an All-American with the Golden Gophers. The Wolves able to break it up out in the neutral zone. LaRose a nice play, so back behind his net, starting it off will be Oliver. Wheeling up the middle, Crowley. Crowley left side at center ice. He'll chip it into the far corner. Young plays it over to the near side and held in at the near point for a moment by Bouchard. Near corner now, Butsayev, right of the net, Butsayev, back of the net, Butsayev throws it out in front and through some feet. King was there. Garrett King, an outstanding goal scorer. Back of the Wolves net now, Brady reverses it over to the near side. Getting there at the near point, Bouchard. Bouchard shoots, deflected. Young, a great kick save. Rebound over to the near side. Wolves unable to get command. Now near point, Bouchard. Near side, taken by King. King holds and looks. Top right circle, now right of the net. Butsayev centers. That one whistles up to the far point and out to center ice. The Wolves short for another 40 seconds. 15:45 remains here in a scoreless first. Now the Griffins give the puck away. Featherstone given some extra time because the Griffins were changing and the Wolves whistle it down.
That was a key giveaway, too, by the Griffins because the Wolves were only able to change up one of their penalty killers.
Big hit behind the play delivered by Plante on Bouchard as Mike Crowley will come ahead. Time for one more concerted power play rush. Crowley rips it into the left corner. Around it comes to the near side. Nardella near corner. Flipped it ahead and the Wolves get it. Here's Maniluk, left side at center ice. Out of the line, left side, near point. He had it chopped off his stick. The Wolves get it back in the far corner, however. Tilly. Aikens poised to leave the box. And he does. Aikens is going to head off the ice. The Wolves get another guy on. And it's a turnover at the Wolves blue line as Maniluk will wheel the other way. No score. Wolves and Griffins here in the home opener for the Wolves. Far point in the Griffins end. Dahl able to keep it in high slot now. Cruz to the right circle. Intercepted by Noonan. Noonan far point. Noonan fed it up to the high slot. Nardella was changing. So the puck comes back out to center ice. Aikens whistles one up the middle and back off the near wall into the Griffin zone. The Griffins play it off the near glass and back into the Chicago end. Dahl fires it up the right side and it deflects from the slot of the Griffin zone. Albin shovels it behind the net, picked off by Paul Cruz. Cruz made his Wolves debut last night on loan from the San Jose Sharks, and he is a punishing forward. Griffins shovel it to the right of Young. Young sizzles it up the near side and out to center ice. A lot of flow here early in the game. 14 minutes left in the first. On the line right side, Chess Levy shoots. Off the end boards over to the far side. Brown collides with his man Emmons. Wolves cranking up the right side down the length of the ice. And this will be icing as it's touched up by Patterson and we get a whistle. 13:47 left in the first. We're scoreless. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
Their triumph was not without struggle. But through their strength and passion and determination and camaraderie, they became champions. Chicago Wolves, be a part of it.
That is so sweet.
Hey, here's your free phone for making the donation.
Want a free digital phone and $20 sporting goods cash? Donate $20 to Special Olympics from Cellular One.
Wolves able to kill off the first power play of the game for the Grand Rapids Griffins. Wendell Young, here's one of the things that is just amazing at this guy, and he's been doing this for so long. This shot gets redirected. It goes off of the skate of Dan Treble, but Wendell Young able to stay with it and really make it actually look pretty easy. This guy has done for years, and he picks up right where he left off.
I asked Wendell if it was going to bother him that he hasn't played thus far. Really hasn't played since a late preseason game for the Wolves. I said, you're an 18-year pro. This is not going to matter. He said, at my age, it takes a lot longer time to trip off the rust. But he's made 2 sparkling saves thus far here in the first period as we get back underway. Up the far side, Brown can't get it out at the far point. It's hacked out by LaRouche and out to center ice. A little change for the Wolves and the lines from the first 2 games. Petrovicki joins LaRouche and Brown. Maniluk replaces Petrovicki with Belanger and Noonan. And it's Petrovicki. Around to check beautifully. On the line, high slot Brown. He's forced to drag it in. And he got an offside.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting combination of guys, Judd, with Petrovicki, LaRouche, and Brown, because all of a sudden you have some people that just flat out go. And Steve LaRouche, of course, what a fantastic story. Now gets to play with Rob Brown. And Steve LaRouche, of course, serious knee injury a few seasons ago. Got the Comeback Player of the Year award last year, and rightfully so, because he came back and he was a marvelous trigger man. Most people forget that he was the #2 guy last year.
Back of the Griffins net, Joel Bouchard on loan from the Phoenix Coyotes. After 6 seasons in the National Hockey League. 4 points here early in the season, tied for first among league defensemen. Stick handles, having a hard time with dropping that puck ahead. Finally, just rip it off the far wall and into the Wolves' zone. Young played it to Dan Treble, who now has it behind his net. Here's Treble. Up the middle, out at center ice. Brown had it skipped by a stick. And down the length of the ice. And we've got to stop and play for icing. 12:45 left in a scoreless first here on opening night for the Wolves. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
I'm a Jenny Craig consultant. Of all the success stories I've been a part of, Karen's is my favorite. After she had her second child, she couldn't lose the weight on her own. Jenny Craig made all the difference. Karen found better choices at Jenny Craig. Delicious food, personal attention. She lost 42 pounds and now keeps up with her 2 kids. Of all the people I've helped, why is Karen's story my favorite? Because I'm Karen.
Call 1-800-JENNY-2000 and ask about our 21-day Back on Track program for only $49 plus the cost of food. Jenny Craig.
These are the kind of stories that most newsrooms can't wait to tell you they covered at 5, 6, and 10. But when you cover news around the clock like COTV, it's what we do every second of every day. For the only local news, weather, and sports anytime, turn to the only place in Chicagoland that delivers. CLTV, Chicagoland's television.
Welcome back. Get the savings of a season ticket package and the ultimate inconvenience with a Wolves Flex Pack. 10 ticket vouchers that you can use in any increment throughout the regular season. Redeem them in advance or at the Allstate Arena box office the night of a game. To order a Flex Pack, call 1-800-THE-WOLVES. Skates saying hello to some of the 16,000 plus here on hand at the Allstate Arena. Thus far scoreless, 3 shots apiece midway through the first. Near side at center ice, Nardella will bounce it ahead. That got knocked out of midair by David Roberts. And taking it is Gorovikov. High slide. He'll rifle it over the crossbar. Back of the Wolves net. Brady slams White against the wall. Todd White, the ex-Wolf, an ex-Blackhawk. Far corner. Brady tripped up. Back of the net now, White. Back of the net now, Gorovikov. And it poked off his stick left of the net. It's fired, and that didn't get through the traffic. Roberts' drive. Now Nardella had his feet taken out by White. No call by Pateman. And here's Tillich. He'll drive it up the middle and out of danger. Race for the puck. Kwiatkowski's going to get there first. And we will have icing as the Griffins generate their first concerted pressure down low 5-on-5.
One thing you have to be able to do to be a successful pro, you have to be able to work in tight quarters and not take up a lot of room. We saw that a minute ago with Konstantin Gorovikov, where he was just about 5 feet off of the post of Wendell Young and did a little spin move and probably used up probably about 2 square feet of ice space in making that move, and was able to get rid of the puck and get off at least a pretty decent chance from a teammate. You know, I'm surprised the flow of this game so far for early in the year, and for the ceremony at the start of the game, guys seem to be moving pretty well.
Far circle the Wolves and Crowley. His shot deflects. Young drills it over to the near side, and Cruz fires center circle to Brown. Leaves it for Dahl over the line right side. Shoots, and we're going to have an offside as Brown was dragged over the line. A savvy play by the Griffins.
Now, supposedly you're not supposed to be able to get away with that in the neutral zone anymore in this day and age of hockey, but the savvy pros will always make that move and still get away with it. John Anderson, and Judd, you touched on it at the start of the game. The record that he has put together here in Chicago is nothing short of amazing. It's the only word you can use to describe it.
Rough fired out just beyond the Griffins line. 11:45 left here in the first. We're scoreless. Up the near side, Ed Patterson. Fired it ahead. Ed Patterson playing back on the blue line, normally a forward. Griffins captain, he was outstanding last year during the Turner Cup Finals, coming back from a knee injury. Back of the Wolves net, LaRose able to scoop that puck free along the near side. Patterson rocked by a Cruz check. The puck stays in, however, near corner. Emmons fishes it out of there. Met by LaRose, who has his stick between his his arm in his midsection. And we've got to stop and play as the Griffins left to battle it out on the perimeter.
Well, there will be bucket retrieval now for Mr. Patterson as he was rocked by Paul Cruz over here along the near boards. And Judd touched on it briefly, but Paul Cruz has made a career out of just being a punishing hitter and just making people pay. Watch this. Now, some will say that was leading with the elbow, but you can do that as long as you don't put the elbow in the guy's face. You do what Cruz did there and put it in the middle of his chest, no problem. And well after the whistle, we have a little dust-up going on down there. There's Treble and Emmons doing a little jawing.
Ivan Chernik seems to be right in the middle of it. Ed Patterson wearing the C once again for Grand Rapids. He got hurt in the first game of the Turner Cup playoffs last year against Cleveland. Missed every game up until game 2 of the finals. Came back, ended up scoring 4 goals in 4 games against the Wolves. Was not available for game 6, and some people believe if he were in the lineup, things might have gone differently last year in the final playoff round.
Do you believe that?
No.
I don't either.
But some people.
But you said some people. You qualified it.
Along the far side, Noonan, he was certainly a huge player for that team there. Featherstone, a long cross-ice pass that doesn't get through. That's certainly something that plagued the Wolves last night. Featherstone has it back in his own end. Now Belanger has it stripped. Levy, high slot. Poke checked away by Featherstone. Here's Belanger. He had a goal and an assist last night. 3 points thus far on the year. Pardon me, 4 and a +5. Back of his net, Bouchard. Tapped it over to the near corner. The Wolves steal it. Now near point, Noonan has it. And he's unable to keep it in. He didn't want to give it away to Featherstone. And we have an offside. 10.5 left in the first. We're scoreless.
Brian not really happy about that. He just kind of had a roll off his stick for half a second and really didn't have a whole lot he could do with it. Rather than try and rag it out at the blue line, maybe have a turnover, just fire it back in, take the face off and take your medicine. Brian Noonan played on a Turner Cup championship team in Indianapolis very, very early in his pro career, and then got another chance to play on a winner. Of course, was on the Rangers Stanley Cup champion team in '94 also.
And Bruce Cassidy was his teammate on the Indianapolis squad that won the Cup. And those two are close friends. Noonan played for Cassidy in Indianapolis a couple of years ago when he was the head coach of the Blackhawk top affiliate. Ron Neerdot just beyond the Griffins line. Griffins able to get command. Up the middle now. The Griffins fire it into the Wolves zone. Oliver couldn't handle it. And floats to Tilley, near circle. Up the left side now, Petrovicki. Stripped by Oliver. Randall fires it up the middle in LaRouche. A right wing feed. And Grand Rapids had bottled up the neutral zone against Chicago. This team, Grand Rapids, has allowed 11 goals in its first 3 games. Looked pretty sound defensively here in the early going. LaRouche over the line, high slot to the near circle. Petrovicki, high slot. Brown shoots wide. Rebound off the back mesh. LaRouche centers. Brown walks and shoots. He scores!
Patience, my friends. And if you have it, you can be successful. Here's a great example why. Robert Petrovicki gets the puck in the deep slot. And this is after the shot goes wide and LaRouche retrieves. Now watch Robert Petrovicki. Waits, he faked twice. And Chad Albin, did he throw that stick? That would have been a penalty shot anyway. Puck bounces off the back of the net. Steve LaRouche, we talked about him being the trigger man. We thought it would be for Rob Brown. Robert Petrovicki. You know what, even if he hadn't gotten that goal because Albin threw the stick, there would have been a penalty shot anyway. So 1-0 Wolves.
So Robert Petrovicki gets his 3rd of the year already. Wolves rifle it in and over to the near side. Aiken's a great play at the point to keep it in. Apparently they're going to say it left the zone, so we've got to stop. Robert Petrovicki, incredible skill. Shooting the puck more at this level. I talked to him yesterday before the Milwaukee game, and he talked about his camp because John Anderson said he wasn't shooting a lot with the Islanders when he was in camp, and he said he was unhappy with the amount that he was playing in New York, but here he's going to play a lot under John Anderson.
Well, it's so funny that many times, Judd, you see guys, and this happens at all levels of hockey, where you have to get into a situation where you're going to be used in a spot that really fits your skills. And you know what? Let's talk about Steve Malte with that, because now that he's up with Columbus and getting more of a chance to play. Now, Steve Malte had other chances to go to the NHL and play But one of those deals where, you know what, if he's going to play the fourth line all the time, he's not a fourth line type of player. So what many times players have to do with a penalty coming up is they have to get to a situation where they're going to be used in a spot that benefits their skills. And that's the case with Petrovici here as well.
Chris Neal will head to the sin bin for the Griffins as we have a slash behind the play. And I'm sure we'll see Petrovici in a moment on the Wolves power play. And this is something that Wolves fans, everybody in hockey, is going to see a lot of, at least early in the season. Whether or not they continue to do it throughout the season, there is going to be a strict calling of slashes.
Especially when you get up around the hands. And that's the key thing where you used to be able to try and get away with those little love taps up around the hands and it wouldn't get called. Because basically the way that it was called before was, as long as you didn't impede the player's progress or get an advantage by doing it, they wouldn't call. Well, now they want to cut all that out entirely.
So the Wolves will have their first power play. On the season, only 1 for 11 with the man advantage. The Wolves slumped with the power play early last year before turning it on and finishing second. And I think it's just a matter of time with the skill that is here.
Patterson out as a forward here in the penalty kill.
And he's an excellent penalty killer. 9.5 minutes remaining in the first. The Wolves on the board with a 1-0 lead. The Griffins' penalty killing has been awful here early in the season. And we've got to stop as Crowley apparently was able to freeze us. The Griffins have killed only 12 of 16.
Interesting power plays. Excuse me, Judd. Interesting the way they're using Patterson here on this penalty kill. They've got him out there actually playing as a defenseman, but he jumped in and was taking the face-off, which is really kind of handy when you think about it on a penalty kill. If you have your face-off man get tossed out, with Patterson out there, you have another guy that can go in there and take it.
Here's Cassidy, very innovative. But they're also missing John Gruden, who went on injured reserve early in the season. He's an excellent defenseman.
And he's in Oakland, or in Kansas City for a game against the Chiefs tomorrow.
Yes. Near Circa Belanger, one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. Near corner now Lawrence, who had a hat trick on opening night. His pass blocked over the glass into the crowd, and we've got to stop. The Wolves' opening goal, Petrovici's third from LaRouche and Brown at 10-10. It's open to scoring.
Now, why in the world would John Gruden of the Raiders be one of your favorite coaches in the NFL? I really want to hear this.
I just love the way he looks in the sidelines. He just looks so upset all the time. Just so upset, like something's going wrong. He's got to have some stomach problems there, especially working for Al Davis. But back to the game. Draw near circle in the Griffin zone. The Wolves able to win it. A minute 34 remains in the minor to Neal. And the Griffins able to tap it up the near side and down the length of the ice. Aikens, who last year had 31 points, a career high back on the blue line for Chicago. Up the right side over the line is Noonan. High slot now. Mandaluk. He missed on the one-timer, got it back, shipped it over the crossbar, and Crowley finds a seam up the far side and rolls one back into the Wolves zone. Young well out of the net to play it. Dribbles it to the near corner. Belanger playing a point for the Wolves. And he's done this on the power play at the NHL level. And he can shoot. Center Circa Belanger rips it into the left corner. Around it comes to the far corner. Brown scoops it up. Rob Brown to the far point now. Belanger. Near point Aikens. Near corner now LaRouche. Near side now Petrovici. Petrovici near circle. Near corner now LaRouche. Near circle Petrovici. Near point Petrovici. Looking cross ice. Left of the net now LaRouche. Centers. Brown couldn't hold it. He had an open far side as it flew by him. That might have been skate high. High slide Aikens. Shoots and he rifles this one off a stick over the glass into the crowd with just under 8 minutes remaining in the first and 26 seconds left in the Wolves power play.
Okay, the Wolves getting some pretty good chances on this power play. And it's amazing that this game so far, Judd, has resembled a mid-season contest because crisp as the play has been. Chad Albin, not a very big goaltender, but he does move very, very well. But one of the things you have to try and do on Chad Albin is get in close and shoot high. And you saw on Petrovici's goal where he was able to get Albin to commit and was able to put it in. LaRouche sending it across. Rob Brown isn't going to miss many of those, of course, this year. I can tell you that right now.
The Griffins win the faceoff, kick it down the length of the ice. 20 seconds left in the Wolves power play as Young tracks it down for Tilley in the near corner. Tom Tilley will motor up the middle. Out to center ice. Right wing feed. LaRouche had a glance off his skate. Albin plays it back of the net now. LaRouche, who Albin was out of position. LaRouche just lost it for a second. Far circle. Brown couldn't glove the puck. Back of the net now. Petrovici. Grand Rapids back at full strength. Far hash marks. The Griffins get it back and look out here. Might have a 3-on-2. Over the line right side now is Neal into the right circle. Shoots off the end boards over to the far corner. Far corner now, Neal. Neal centers. That kicked off a Griffin skate and goes over to the near corner. Shetzlevy near side. Shetzlevy looking at the far point, but the Wolves able to strip him of the puck. Neal keeps it in. Near corner, Neal fired it behind the net. The Griffins working well down low. Tilly strips the puck, and here's Brown. Saucers up the left side, Petrovicki, who has the opening goal. Over the line, left side, Petrovicki. Near side, Nardella fires it off the inboard to the far corner, and Brown. Brown, stop, start, stood up by Crowley. Driven around to the far side as the Wolves make a change on defense, and the Griffins will slide it down the length of the ice. No icing here, and Wendell Young screams at the linesman. Play comes the other way. Here's Plante. Left wing feed LaRose. Kicked it over the line. Into the left corner, LaRose. LaRose back of the net. LaRose centers. It's in the slot. And kicked over to the near side by Butsayev. Barrels ahead over the line. And behind the play, Derek King takes down Guy LaRose. I think that's a frustration penalty by King. We'll bring you back in a moment. 6:21 left in the first. 1-0 Wolves. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
Anyone can offer you insurance over the web or an 800 number, but who's going to be there when you really need it? Allstate introduces the Good Hands Network with Allstate.com, 1-800-ALLSTATE, and your local agent. Fully connected, working together to help meet your needs on your schedule. And only the Good Hands Network offers you an agent, no matter how you come to us. It's the best way yet to put you in good hands.
Welcome back to the Allstate Arena. Guy LaRose, an agitating player behind the play. He will hit guys with some slashes behind the legs, and I think it just cost Derek King.
Well, you know what, Judd? There's a difference between doing something and getting caught. You don't get penalized for committing an infraction. You get penalized for getting caught. King got caught.
Center circle, Belanger rips it in as the Wolves begin their second power play. Scoreless with it on the first. Far point now, Belanger to the near point, Aikens. A lot of traffic out in front. High slot, Belanger fakes. Near circle, Maniluk ripped one just wide of the far post, but not by much. And the Griffins able to clear.
What a marvelous chance that was. The fake shot got everybody to overcommit just a little bit. Maniluk gets the puck slid right onto his stick. Was hunting for that far upper right corner, but just missed it.
Left side at center ice, Belanger tapped it in. Lawrence near corner, Lawrence centers. He had Maniluk, but he flipped it by him, held him beautifully at the far point by Aikens, who reached out and snared that. Back of the net now, Bouchard backhands over to the near side. Belanger comes down to pinch. Near point now, Noonan. Near corner now, Maniluk, or pardon me, Lawrence. Near side now, Noonan. Noonan, left of the net now, Maniluk. Centers, kicked into the slot. Aikens had it, lost it as he snuck down, and the Griffins able to clear. 52 seconds left and the man advantage for the Wolves. 5:10 left here in the first. The Wolves with a 1-0 lead thanks to Robert Petrovicki's third of the year. Nardella up the right side, and here's Petrovicki over the line right side, into the right circle. Right corner now, Petrovicki. Petrovicki lost it along the far side, and the Griffins break back. Here's Gorovikov. Twists over the line, high slot, he feeds it to Shetzlevy, gets it back, shoots, Young a stick save. He's fortunate there because the drop pass didn't connect immediately. Now far side at center ice, Gorovikov gets it back, had it stripped. Petrovicki over the line, left side, LaRouche to the near point, LaRouche to the high slot, shoots blocked, rebound, Tilly able to hustle and keep it in. Shetzlevy had busted his stick, or had lost it. Far corner now, LaRouche, jammed against the wall by Butsayev. Far point, Nardella. Trying to go cross ice, and it's kicked out to center ice by Shetzlevy. And cranked down the length, and Grand Rapids back at full strength. Young hammers it up the near side. Petrovicki kicked it out to the neutral zone. Brought back in by Butsayev. High slot now, King. Couldn't get around Tilly, who played the body. And look out, here's LaRouche speeding out of the line, high slot. Against Patterson. Patterson able to get him off the puck. Patterson not a great skater backward, but he's going to have to be tonight if he's playing defense. Griffins cleared up the far side and out to center ice. Not a lot of shots on goal in this game. 5-4 right now in favor of the Wolves. Here's Cruz. Barrels over the line. Fires. Blocker save made by Albin. Kick behind the net by Neil Brady. Near corner now, Plante. Plante had it swatted off his stick over to the near side. Featherstone stands up his guy, but it floats out to center ice. 3:25 left here in the first. 1-0 Wolves. Young played it over to the far wall on the Wolves' end. Plante beautifully able to tie up John Emmons as Young was getting back to the cage. The Wolves saucer it back into the Griffins zone. The Griffins defenseman Bouchard got rid of it before Cruz could line him up. From the penalty box along the near side. Aikens banging the way along with one of the Griffins, Chernick. Center circle, Travis Richards. Flips one end over end into the near corner. Aikens snags it. Aikens quickly up the right side. Plante had it, lost it. The Griffins hack it down to the far corner. And now Dahl motors up the middle out to center ice. 1-0 Wolves here in their home opener late in the first period. Now a turnover out at center ice. White sent it ahead. Brian Noonan hustling back. Snags that puck. Noonan feeds over the line right side for Belanger. Belanger back of the net. Belanger centers. Taken out of there by Richards. Played it off the glass near side and out to center ice. Featherstone whistles it on right wing. Intercepted by Roberts. Roberts far circle. Shoots Young, a chest save. Rebound fired wide by Neal, who busted to the net. Near corner. The Wolves fish it out. White in the slot. Had it. Lost it. Far point now. Demidov shoots. That didn't get through. Rebound. Swatted away from Neal and out to center ice. 1:55 left in the first. 1-0 Wolves, but Grand Rapids with some late chances here. Here's Belanger. Gave it away. And the Wolves fortunate as it's brought in offside.
Pretty good action, and again, I'm really kind of surprised at this early in the year and after the layoff we had at the start because of the ceremony that the guys are playing this well. Wendell Young, chest save. Got to get a little help from your defense. Glenn Featherstone is right there. Neal not exactly in position to tap it in. Got a little bit on it, but drove it wide. That's what you want. You want your goaltender to make the initial stop, and then you want your defenseman there to help clean it up. Wendell Young, I think, is very, very sharp here so far in this game.
The Griffins control the puck. Far circle in their own end. Demidov saucers it up the middle. Look out here. 2-on-1 the other way over the line right side. Now it's Oliver into the right circle. Shoots. Young fought it off. Rebound off the side of the mesh. Oh, the Wolves caught a break there, and they're going to have a 2-on-1. Petrovicki on the line left side. Petrovicki into the slot. The root shoots. Albin, a pad save. Back of the net now. Scooping it up is Demidov. And Oliver barrels over the line far side. He just missed just a moment ago. Far corner now. King back of the net. King. Near corner. King to the near point. Crowley. Crowley stood up by LaRouche. Back of the net, Butsaya. Met there by Featherstone. Sent into the slot and cleared out of there by LaRouche. And we're going to have icing here with 57 seconds remaining in the first. A couple of close calls at either end. Steve LaRouche made a great play defensively just a moment ago to get that puck out of Wendell Young's crease. And just couldn't finish at the other end. Coming across with a 2-on-1 with Petrovicki. Wendell Young talked before the game about this being a mental challenge. LaRouche still looking for his first goal of the year. Oh, and Albin just robbed him. A beautiful save. Keep the Griffins trailing only 1-0. Near point now. Patterson shoots. Young steers that off his stick over the glass into the crowd. During our first intermission, our partner Jim Blaney will be talking with Wolves head coach John Anderson. We'll have highlights from the start of the Wolves season in our rewind segment. Plus, we'll have first period highlights and stats, so stay with us. John Anderson looking on, came on the ice being pulled by Alaskan Malamutes on a dog sled at the Turner Cup. I think those dogs are going to need a sip of water. Over the line, high slot now. Lawrence barrels to the front of the net, crashes in, and Albin able to freeze and keep that puck from going over the line. Boy, that'd have been an interesting call with Jerry Bateman back in the neutral zone. And now Lawrence and Albin having a little discussion. Both men have a connection in Kalamazoo. Lawrence making his offseason home there. Albin from there. Lawrence got tripped up and nearly drove that puck over the line. Mark Lawrence, one of the biggest Wolves on the team, certainly their biggest forward at 6'3", 225 pounds. Chad Albin gets up, no worse for wear. 40 seconds left in the first. Around near circle in the Griffin zone. Neil Brady will dig down to take it. Excellent on the faceoffs, and he wins it near point Nardella. Shoots. Albin steers that to the far corner. Chernick stepped in front of Tilly, but the Wolves keep the puck in right corner now. Lawrence centers in the slot off Brady's skates. Held in far corner by LaRose. Knocked down by Crowley. Back of the net now. Lawrence sets up. Lawrence backhand, try to force it in. Lost his footing. Back of the net now. Digging away is LaRose. Back of the net now. Lawrence. Lawrence centers. High slot. Nardella shoots. Blocked. I don't think Albin got it. He was down. Somebody in front must have saved him. 3 seconds left here in the opening period, and that should do it. Well, Wendell Young, with a couple of great stops early, staked to a 1-0 lead, and it almost could have been 3-0 if it had not been for Chad Albin and some traffic out in front for the Griffins net. The scoring summary from the opening 20 minutes of play. Sponsored by Craftsman. Robert Petrovicki, the lone goal, his third of the year at 10-10 from LaRouche and Brown. Shots after 20 minutes unofficially 7 apiece. Jim will bring you back in just a moment with the head coach of the Chicago Wolves, John Anderson. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
That is so sweet.
Hey, here's your free phone for making the donation.
Want a free digital phone and $20 sporting goods cash? Donate $20 to Special Olympics from Cellular One.
Is this the way you like your sports? Hard-hitting, action-packed, no punches pulled. Then team up with the Chicago Sun-Times, the only newspaper that delivers sports coverage the way you want it. Chicago Sun-Times, Chicago's #1 newspaper for sports. For home delivery, call 1-888-84-TIMES.
Their triumph was not without struggle. But through their strength and passion and determination and camaraderie, they became champions. Chicago Wolves. Be a part of it.
Welcome back to the Allstate Arena. The Wolves are back in action this Wednesday night at 7 and then Friday night at 7:30 when they host a 2-game set with the Utah Grizzlies. Everyone in attendance will receive a Wolves 2000-2001 magnet schedule. Tickets are on sale now, and lower-level seats start at just $15. Stop by the Allstate Arena box office, call Ticketmaster or 1-800-THE-WOLVES. Here in the first intermission of the Wolves home opener, Chicago staked to a 1-0 lead thanks to Robert Petrovicki's third of the year. And standing by live downstairs is Wolves head coach John Anderson with Jim Blaney for our LaSalle Bank interview.
All right, Judd, thank you very much, and congratulations on raising yet another banner here in Chicago. John, I know you were very, very disappointed at the end of the '99 campaign when you lost the 7th game to the Houston Aeros, and you had had so much success in Quad City, and then you win a Turner Cup here your first year with the Wolves. Was there any difference in your level of appreciation of winning a championship after not winning it in '99 and winning so many prior to that?
Well, you certainly appreciate a little bit more. You know, no matter what happens, you know how hard it is to do. And, you know, raising the second one here, it was pretty special because people thought that, you know, we'd only do it once and we were a flash in the pan. And, you know, I'm glad that we came through last year. But it was a lot of hard work.
Is that the motivating factor for this year for everybody, is to show that unlike 1999, that you guys, or when you didn't win the Cup, excuse me, in 99, yeah, that you can come back and you can win 2 in a row, because it is so hard to repeat?
Well, you know, when I played the National League, I played 12 years, there's only 3 teams that won it. And that was because they created dynasties, and that's the type of feeling and flavor I think Don Levin, Buddy Myers, and Kevin want to give to the people here. We want to create a dynasty here, and we want people to know that every time we go out there, we're going to give everything we have, and we're playing for a cup. We're not playing for developing players and different things like that. We're here to win championships, and we want the people of Chicago to come out and watch that.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's something we talked about at the very top of the broadcast, about one of the reasons why the Islanders sent Rick DiPietro here, is because, let's face it, one of the hardest things I think for a professional to learn is that winning mentality, because so much of a young man's career is spent toward development, but maybe the hardest part to learn is how to be a champion and how to be a winner and how to be a professional.
And certainly, you know, for Rick DiPietro, he's lucky to be beside Wendell, you know, who's won so many championships and knows what it takes, knows the hard work, knows the dedication involved. And you know, if you look at Wendell today at 37, going on 38, I mean, he's in great shape still, and that's the reason he's won so many. And for Rick, you know, it's a great thing for him. He's going to learn to give it all he's got every time, and you know, spend a long time. Like it's 8 months of hard work, and it's not just 7 months. You don't quit it when the last month's there. You've got to keep going.
John, congratulations on another Turner Cup championship. Good luck for the coming year, and thanks for joining us. John Anderson, the head coach of the Wolves. 2 Turner Cups in 3 years here in Chicago, and a 1-0 lead at the end of 1 period of play. We are back with more from the Allstate Arena just after this timeout. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
Clucky's chicken is the best. White meat, dark meat. Clucky's has the chicken you want. Here's your chicken.
Thanks.
Page 338, Career Counseling. Another problem solved, courtesy of the Ameritech Yellow Pages.
We bought our hot tub at a discount store.
We got a great deal on the floor mop.
Sure, it's got a few dings, but who notices, right?
Show them the steps, honey.
I built it myself. Not bad, eh?
Why settle for a hot tub when you could have a thermo spa with a solid granite storage cabinet and elegant wraparound steps for safety? There's even a patented towel warmer compartment, ideal for those cool, damp nights. Call for our free information package. It includes a 25-minute video, a 48-page color catalog, and information on how you can buy direct from Thermo Spas for as little as $49 a month. Thermo Spa offers the best in water therapy with over 160 jets to massage your body, provide relaxation, and just plain fun. If you already bought that discounted hot tub, don't worry. Thermo Spas accepts trade-ins on every make and model. Call now and we'll include a $400 gift coupon. Call 1-800-316-7474. That's 800-316-7474.
They may be the most negative attacks in Illinois history. Attacks that twist the truth about Mark Kirk and John Porter's record with absolutely no regard for the facts. The truth? Mark Kirk supports affordable prescription drug coverage for seniors. He always has. And he's committed to preserving and protecting Social Security. Lauren Beth Gash and her out-of-state cronies? Nasty rhetoric, false statements, negative attacks. Call Lauren Beth Gash. Tell her they should know better. Tell her Illinois seniors deserve the truth.
Welcome back to the first intermission here at the Allstate Arena. It's the Wolves home opener for the 2000-2001 season. The Chicago Wolves are proud to present Score for Charity, a program that lets area sponsors donate money to Chicagoland charities based on the performance of their favorite Wolves player. Heidenhain Corporation has drafted a defensive duo of Tom Tilley and Bob Nardella, and for each point that they produce, Heidenhain will donate $100 to Camp Trillium. Arango Cigars has sponsored goaltender Wendell Young, and with each win, $100 will be donated to the Children's Memorial Foundation. Possum Auto Warehouse has drafted defenseman Chris LaPuma, and for each point, they'll donate $100 to the Lupus Foundation. Mailboxes, etc. of Des Plaines and Schaumburg has chosen defenseman Glenn Featherstone, and for each penalty minute, $10 will go to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Harry Carey's Restaurant at Manheim and Higgins has selected Rob Brown, and for each goal, $100 will be donated to the Maryville Academy. And Red Lobster has chosen Brian Noonan, and for each goal, $100 will be donated to the Special Olympics. There's time for your company to join this year's Score for Charity team. For more information, call 1-800-THE-WOLVES. Well, before tonight's home opener, the Wolves had a chance to get 2 games under their belt. If you didn't have a chance to catch that, well, we can show you some highlights here in our Wolves Rewind segment. The Wolves began the season last Saturday in Cincinnati. As they began their 7th season, the Wolves trailed 2-1 early in the second period until Robert Petrovicki stole a pass out at center ice and then drilled one by Mark Magliardini to tie the score at 2. The Wolves later went up 3-2, and then Brian Noonan, far circle, rifled one by Magliardini. That made it 4-2 Wolves. Rick DiPietro getting his first professional start for the Wolves. The young rookie goaltender didn't face a lot of shots, but made some key saves. And his offense helped him out late in the second period. Petrovicki again, a wraparound at the far post. The Wolves up 5-3 just before the second intermission. Then Mike Maniluk helped the Wolves break it open in the third period. His first of the year made it 6-3. And then Mark Lawrence cut in right of the net, tapped one home. That sealed the hat trick for Lawrence. And an 8-3 Wolves victory in Cincinnati at the First Star Center. The Wolves badly outshoot Cincinnati 40-27. Mark Lawrence with the hat trick. Robert Petrovicki led all Wolves with 2 goals and 4 points. Last night, the Wolves were in Milwaukee for their first meeting of the season against the Admirals. Early on, the Wolves shorthanded. The Admirals able to work the puck up high. And out in front, Sean Haggerty with a beautiful deflection. That came at the 7-12 mark of the first period, gave Milwaukee a 1-0 lead. Then Marian Cesar in the final minute of the first, a wrist shot that gets underneath Rick DiPietro. A little dejected, the Wolves down 2-0 at that point. Rick DiPietro, a very agile goalie, and his ability to play the puck helped spur the Wolves early in the third period. The Wolves able to get the puck across to Jesse Belanger. Belanger fighting in the far corner. Brown with a shot, and the rebound goes to Belanger right of the net, and the Wolves finally able to beat Jan Lasek, cut it to 2-1 in the first minute and a half in the third period. But about 3.5 minutes later, the Wolves get outworked down low, and Dan Riva able to beat Rick DiPietro to make it 3-1 Admirals. Marian Cesar then able to get behind the Wolves defense out at center ice. He tucks a backhand underneath DiPietro. That made it 4-1 Milwaukee midway through the third period. Mike Maniluk tapped down a late goal, but that's as close as the Wolves could get as Milwaukee hands the Wolves their first loss of the season, 4-2. Once again, the Wolves badly outshoot Milwaukee 41-20. Jan Lasek, the young Milwaukee goaltender, was exceptional for the Admirals last night. The Wolves also 0-for-6 on the power play. Belanger with a goal and an assist. Stay with us. Jim and I will bring you back in just a moment for stats and highlights from the opening 20 minutes of play. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
From the quarter mile at St. Louis to the third turn at Talladega to the pits of Laguna Seca. Wherever innovation is the margin between win and lose, the pros reach for the same tools you do. Craftsman, the official tools of CART, NHRA, and NASCAR.
Anyone can offer you insurance over the web or an 800 number, but who's going to be there when you really need it? Allstate introduces the Good Hands Network with Allstate.com, 1-800-ALLSTATE, and your local agent. Fully connected, working together to help meet your needs on your schedule. And only the Good Hands Network offers you an agent, no matter how you come to us. It's the best way yet to put you in good hands.
1-0 Wolves leading the Grand Rapids Griffins after one period of play. Here's the only goal of the first period as we take a look at our Clark highlights. Robert Petrovicki, he's going to end up with a puck in the deep slot. Now this play all starts when there's a shot wide from the deep slot. Puck comes off the end boards, off the back of the net. Steve LaRouche goes out and fishes it out. And there's Robert Petrovicki right in the mid slot. Kind of fakes it, doesn't really fake a shot, but looks like he's going to shoot twice before he actually pops it in. Chad Albin was down and out. His last hope, throw my stick and hope I don't get called for a penalty shot. It didn't work. And the Wolves are on top 1-0. So Steve LaRouche does what he does so well. Make sure he finds a guy in scoring position and he can put it away. Wendell Young perfect in the net in the opening period for the Wolves. Here was one of the best chances by the Grand Rapids Griffins. David Oliver low in along the goal line. But look at Wendell Young. Really had great position on that shot. Had everything shut off the net. Then Oliver takes, well, a second shot. But you knew that wasn't going to go in from that angle.
The stats after 20 minutes of play. Sponsored by Coke. Shots on goal in favor of the Wolves, 9-7. The Wolves 0 for 2 on the power play. The Griffins 0 for 1. Neither team really able to generate many shots with the power play, only one apiece. Hits in favor of the Wolves at 5-3. The turnovers, however, also in favor of the Wolves, 5-3. They were guilty in the neutral zone of turning that puck over on occasion, but they still have a 1-0 lead after 20 minutes of play. The teams will be on the ice here shortly. And Jim, before the game, when the Wolves had their championship banner raising ceremony, I thought it was a great touch by the organization, something I've really never seen anywhere else, that the Wolves involved the fans. They brought out Bill Malik, who runs and heads up the Wolfpack, the Chicago Wolves Booster Club. He got a chance to be out there for one of the most poignant moments in franchise history.
And I've always been interested to the way this organization has marketed toward the fans, because the initial push when this team was started 7 years ago is so much was directed toward the fans. And then to me, really, that's always been the MO. But then when you add in when John Anderson and Kevin Cheveldayoff came in, and then it became you know what, we're really going to go out and get the top guys available, and we're going to back up wanting to give the fans a good show with giving them a winning team as well. And that's pretty much an unbeatable combination. In fact, it's been an unbeatable combination in 2 of the past 3 years.
Check out the hottest logo in professional sports and the latest Chicago Wolves merchandise in the new Wear Wolves catalog and online at ChicagoWolves.com. You'll find a great selection of Wolves apparel, caps, and gift items, including the complete line of 2000 Turner Cup Championship merchandise. Log on to ChicagoWolves.com or get your own copy of the Wear Wolves catalog by calling 1-800-THE-WOLVES. And there's a new item for the Wolves, foam goalie mask that will debut this year, and I guarantee one of us is going to be wearing that this year.
$8 at your concession stand. I checked out the price on the way down.
I think that's a bargain.
A bargain at twice the price.
We're about ready to start the second. The Wolves with a 1-0 lead. Young in goal to our left for Chicago. Albin in goal to our right. LaRouche wins the faceoff, and he drives it to the left to Chad Albin. Albin leaves it behind his net for Bouchard. Rifles it ahead. Picked off by Tilly. Shoots gloved by another former Spartan, Chad Albin. And we get a stop and play.
The cagey old vet saw the play coming around the near boards, made in, and stepped in there and picked it off. That's one of the key things that a veteran defenseman can give you, knowing when to cheat in and make the play. You see Chad Albin, how he doesn't come that much farther up than the crossbar. 5'7", I think, is the official height. 5'6" is more like what it really is, but he's a marvelous puck handler. And always would pile up a decent amount of assists at Michigan State, and always had minuscule goals against averages when playing for the Spartans.
He did have a goal while playing at Michigan State.
Yes.
Bouchard leaves it for Emmons up the far side. Bouchard drives it up the far side, and it does get out to center ice. Cut off by Tilly. He delays. That allows Petrovicki to get onside, and the Wolves kick it right back in. Bouchard orders up the far side. He'll saucer one down the length of the ice. Young will play this. Young shovels it around to the near side. Levy gets to it first in the near corner. Now near corner. Chernik, poke checked. Leaves it for Bouchard near hash marks. Shoots, and he got it through, and Young made a great stop. No way he saw that, but he was in great position. Albin, far corner of his zone, and snaps it up the glass far side. Gloved by LaRouche, who he just had it flip over his blade, and the Griffins will break back with some numbers over the line. High slot now. Levy shoots, and that ricochets wide. Far corner, Emmons. Emmons, one of 2 California-born players on the Griffins, and we get a stop and play. 18:52 left in the second. 1-0 Wolves.
Wendell Young making a nice stop a moment ago because the puck actually went between the legs of Tom Tilley on the way to the net, and Wendell Young was able to make. And again, Wendell so far tonight hasn't looked like he's been expending a lot of effort. I'm not saying he's not out there doing it, but he's just been in the right spot at the right time. And that's the kind of save where if you're in a good position, if you're on top of the crease and you've cut down the angle, that even if you do lose it for a second, it's likely to hit you and make a save. Remember, goaltending has changed so much over the last few years. It used to be a read and react type thing. Now the goaltenders just try and get in position.
High slot Demidov shoots, blocked, far corner. Gorovikov stood up by LaRose. Back of the net now. Gorovikov tripped up by Aikens. Back of the net now. White. He skips over to the far corner. White, who's an excellent skater and very strong on his skates, loses it. Maniluk will speed the other way. On the line left side now. Cruz shoots. Albin steers that to the near corner. Wolves get 3 forwards deep, and White will break back. White over the line left side. White sends it into the slot. Kicked wide off his skates as Kwiatkowski moved up. The Wolves cranking up the far side, and carrying it ahead is Aikens. Aikens over the red line, over the blue line far side. And he just hesitated, and that brought LaRose offside. 18-12 left in the second. 1-0 Wolves.
Well, you think fitting Kwiatkowski on the back of the nameplate is tough. Just try spitting it out in the middle of play-by-play, right, John?
There's a few names on this team. I feel bad for the trainer.
A lot of sewing there. Actually looked like, I thought at first it went off of Aiken's skate, but in the end it looked like it went off of Kwiatkowski toward the net. Todd White, Rookie of the Year in the eye. Well, you know, it did go off Aiken's skate. And again, Wendell Young in the right spot. And I think he's going to be tough to beat tonight, Chuck, because he's just playing so well in position.
Far point Featherstone drills one. That didn't get through. And motoring up the middle is David Oliver, just recently assigned by the parent club, the Ottawa Senators. This is the Senators' main affiliate, the Grand Rapids Griffins, and it's touched up by Featherstone, and we have icing.
You know, this is one of those games, Judd, with the way it's going is, okay, there's not a lot of spectacular rushes. Well, why are there not? It's because guys are getting back on defense and they're not getting caught up ice. And that's what we talked about at the very start of the game. And one of our keys to the contest was the Wolves just want to keep it simple. And I'm sure the Grand Rapids Griffins on the road, they're doing the same type of thing. Make the wise play. Don't get caught up ice. Don't give the odd man break going the other way.
Draw near circle in the Griffin zone. Lawrence pulls his way into the slot, had it, lost it. And wheeling the other way is Ed Patterson, reaches the red line, and he'll feather it into the left corner. Young leaves it for Treble. Treble plays it up the middle, and now Plant on left wing. Brady over the line right side. Lawrence, and we have an offside as Lawrence would have had a great opportunity to barrel in, and he is tough to handle at 6'3", 225.
He would have had a great chance if Dan Plant's first pass had gotten through. Dan Plant got a second chance at it, and by then the Grand Rapids defense had recovered and hopped off Lawrence's stick, and the Wolves end up being offside. Very cool skates. Those would be the Jordan-Air type skates. You will see that company making more and more sports gear. They're going to be coming out with golf clubs pretty soon, of course. That what's the name of that really good golfer, Judd, that used those golf balls this past year? It's a kid's name.
I've heard of him. Jerry Pateman. High slot in the Griffin zone. They'll wheel the other way. Crowley nearly had King away on a breakaway. King, right corner of the Wolves zone, swiped away by Tilley and turning his mantle up. Nardella able to escape the traffic. On the line far side is Noonan into the far corner. Noonan, a goal and an assist in the opener, scoreless last night. Far point now Nardella into the slot. A one-time pass by Belanger that doesn't get through, and it comes back into the Wolves' end thanks to the Griffins.
That was heads-up play by both Nardella and Belanger. Just a couple of little touch passes that almost resulted in a pretty good chance.
Just under 17 minutes remaining here in the second. 1-0 Wolves on Robert Petrovicki's mid-first period goal. Back of the Griffins net, here's Noonan. Noonan taken off the puck by Ziski. Here's Ziski.
Russell Ziski.
I know what that's from. I'll get to that. Along the near side at center ice, the Griffins kick it behind the Wolves net. Far side, Emmons drives it into the far corner of the Wolves zone. Ziski is a powerful little player. Driven on net far side. Young fought off that offering from John Emmons. Emmons far hash marks. Backhands it behind the Wolves net. Ziski. Oh, and Tilley cross-checked him. And there's some history to that as Ziski goes down. Last year, Jim, in game 2 of the finals. Zinsky knocked out Tilly for the rest of the series. We'll bring you back to talk about it in just a moment. The Wolves with a 1-0 lead early in the second. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
That is so sweet.
Hey, here's your free phone for making the donation.
Want a free digital phone and $20 sporting goods cash? Donate $20 to Special Olympics from Cellular One.
The penalty to Tom Tilley not on the board yet, so we're still waiting what exactly the penalty will be. Tilley and Zinsky behind the net. Tom Tilley comes up with a stick, and as Judd alluded to, this has a little bit of history to it. And one thing hockey players don't do is they don't forget. You know what? As we were talking about, Judd, that's the first time we can remember Zinsky being on the ice in the game. We don't recall seeing him in the opening period. And it didn't take Tom Tilley long to find him. They are signaling 2 minutes or a double minor.
Wow. If the Wolves only get 2 out of that,
wow, I
really have to believe that they are fortunate.
Well, and you wonder, too, and we talked about this a little bit at the very, very start of the game, about how, let's face it, the Grand Rapids Griffins, they thought they had a real shot at winning the Turner Cup last year. As a matter of fact, especially when they survived Game 5 here in Chicago and got the series back to Grand Rapids, and the Wolves still were able to win the series. And when you work that hard and that long in a season, and especially in a hard-fought series as that was, you wonder how much bad blood can be left over. And it could be very interesting when those two teams meet this year. And you would think now, with Zinsky still trying to shake those cobwebs loose, you wonder what kind of a turn this game is going to take now.
Chris Zinsky last year skated with a full face shield during the Turner Cup Finals after he got struck in the face during the regular season. He only played 32 games last year as a rookie for Grand Rapids, another Ottawa prospect, and he played very well for Grand Rapids. A thorn in the Wolves' side with the energy that he provided. And now he's helped off the ice. Hopefully he is okay.
Well, let's take, and one thing they don't mess around with now is they don't mess around with head injuries anymore. They don't even let you stay on the bench. They take you off the ice and they check you out before you come back. But let's now keep a close eye, especially on who Bruce Cassidy might send out, especially once this penalty is over.
Well, it's funny you mention that because Chris Neal is on the ice for Grand Rapids.
Exactly.
Who last year finished with 301 penalty minutes, second in the league.
And I don't imagine he got a lot of power play time either.
Well, they dropped the puck, and the Griffins start their second power play. Held in at the near point by Bouchard. He'll flip it into the near corner. White pounded against the wall cleanly by Dahl. Along the near side, Maniluk had it, lost it. Dahl feeds it behind the net. Aikens flipped it around to the far corner. Shaslevy scooped it up. Shaslevy, who killed the Wolves in the finals, gave it away. Look out, here's a breakaway for LaRose. Speeds up the line into the left circle, shoots. Elvin save. He looked behind him as the Rose went high. The Wolves feed it up the near side and out to center ice. Now at the near point in the Wolves end, Dahl will hack it into the right corner, now behind Chad Albin. 15.5 left in the second, 1-0 Wolves. Here on opening night here at the Allstate Arena. Over the line high slot, White taken off the biscuit by Plum. Wolves cranking up the far side just by Bouchard's skate and back into the Griffin zone. Center circle now Bouchard. Twirls away from Plante. Plante last year with 3 shorthanded goals. He'll change. The Wolves are going to have to change quickly. Over the line high slot, Oliver shoots. Oh, he snapped that just over the crossbar, and Young has to reach back and trap that along with a water bottle so nobody can pull it off there and score.
Wendell Young making the play, but it really got interesting when Chris Neal went off at the end of the first line power play shift for the Grand Rapids Griffins. Let's take a look at the shot first. It goes off the shoulder of Wendell Young. Look at this. It just drops right down on top of the net, and Wendell Young is able to cover it up. And what I was talking about before is Neal crossed paths with Neil Brady as Chris Neal was going off the ice, and he slashed Neil Brady right across the wrist. So it's starting to get a little bit interesting here.
The Wolves short-handed for another 47 seconds as Bouchard sends it rink wide to Mike Crowley. Last year, third among league defensemen with 48 points. Although he didn't play the full slate, he was bothered by a concussion, a knee injury. Over the line, right side now Oliver. Right circle now Oliver. Far corner now Oliver. Far circle now King. King twirls far hash marks. Far corner King. Looking for Bouchard coming down low. Far corner now Oliver to the far point. Crowley gave it away, and Maniluk will saucer it back to the Griffins line. Maniluk, great speed and skill up high, and that is what knocked some time off the clock just a moment ago for the Wolves and the Griffins power play. Now Oliver near corner. Poke check by Dow over to the near side. Bouchard had it, lost it. The Wolves back at full strength. And Plante, center circle. Drives it on left wing over the line. Picked away from Tilly. And taking it is Aikens. Aikens right wing feed Brady over the line. High slide. Played it off his skate to the far corner. Petrovicki had it swatted away. King freed it into the neutral zone over the line right side. Cheslevy's got a trailer. Hits him. Crowley looks in. Draws Young out. The net is open. Young gets back to the cage, and Crowley clears it back into his own end. 13.5 left in the second. 1-0 Wolves. Far side at center ice. Nardella steals the puck, and it's dumped in by LaRouche. Right corner, Alves not to play it. Sends it over to the far side. Chesnevy can't get it by a pinching Nardella. Far point. LaRouche backhands it deep. Brown dumped up high, complaining for a call. He won't get it. Now Emmons leaves it behind his net. Demidov up the near side. Kwiatkowski didn't get it out. Near circle. Tilly centers. Oh, he had Brown all alone out in front. Chernick motors over the line far side. Poke checked away. Chesnevy into the slot, lost it. The Wolves counter. Nardella. Look out. He's going to have to delay at the blue line. The Wolves unable to bring it in, and we've got to stop it. Brown and Evans go at it in the near circle with a couple of cross checks to the upper arm, and now we've got a little meeting of the minds here in the near circle, the Griffin zone. 12:48 left in the second. 1-0 Wolves. We'll bring you back in a moment. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
From CLTV, Chicagoland's television, this is a CLTV News Update.
I'm Leanne Trotter. In the news, 2 teens accused of committing hate crimes are being held on $75,000 bond. The boys were taken into custody late Thursday after allegedly firing marbles at 2 Jewish men on their way home from Temple. Police found a slingshot, marbles, a baseball bat, and a small pocket knife in their van. The teens have each been charged with 12 counts of felony hate crime. A 14-year-old boy will also appear in juvenile court Monday. A West Chicago couple accused of filing a false kidnapping report has disappeared. Nicholas and Barbara Meeks were discovered missing when police went to arrest them for filing a second false report. The Meeks had bonded out of court earlier this month. And some call skateboarding an extreme sport a nuisance and danger. Well, now skateboarders in Chicago have their own place to go. It's an official skate park, complete with its own kidney bowl. Those are some of the stories we're watching. I'm Leanne Trotter, CLTV News.
Okay, Judd is going to sort out the penalties here. What I want to show you is Mike Crowley, number 20, lower left-hand corner of your screen. On this power play shift, he already gave away the puck, twice the point. He does a good job here, jumps up and joins the play. Now, Crowley gets it on a stick, doesn't pull the trigger. Wendell Young is out of the net, scrambling to get back in. Crowley hangs onto it, and then passes it to absolutely nobody. I am left to ask the question, Mr. Crowley, what's going on in your head?
Wow. It is opening night. Welcome back, Jim. It's good to have you back.
I've been waiting all game for that.
Man. Well, right now it looks like the Wolves are going to get the short end of that last fracas as Rob Brown has a 2 up on the board right now. And it looks like it's going to be the extra 2 as he's joined in the box by Steve LaRouche. So Chris Neal did his job and took 2 skilled players off the ice. and he only took a 2-minute minor himself.
Well, that's one of those situations where Chris Neal was out there, LaRouche was out there, LaRose was out there, Rob Brown, and, well, you know, I'll stop there.
This also might even things up, Jim, after what happened to Krasiski earlier in the period. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Near side over the line, King. With the near point, King. Now near circle, Crowley. Crowley near corner. Back to that. We got a 10-minute misconduct apparently here on the loose. We'll sort out everything in just a moment, but the Griffins on the power play for the 3rd time. Scoreless with it, and scoreless in the game. Top right circle now, Hutsayev. Very dangerous. Far point now, King. Actually, all these guys dangerous. Oh, one of the Wolves forwards up high, knocked down LaRose. They're going to rule inadvertent contact. Near point now, Crowley. Far point, Roberts. That's who collided with LaRose. Back of the net now, Oliver. Oliver had it, lost it. Dahl has it in his feet. Far point, Roberts. Gave it away, or almost did. And here comes Dahl. Out at center ice. He'll motor over the line, right side. Feed it lightly into the right corner, and the Wolves will change halfway through. The minor assessed to Brown. 11:46 left in the second. 1-0 Wolves, and Robert Petrovicki's mid-first period goal here on opening night at the Allstate Arena. Far corner of the Wolves end, Featherstone advances it to the far point, but not out. White keeps it in at the near point. Crowley. Crowley shoots. That didn't get through. Treble took a hack at it. Fan Levy keeps it in. Kicks it ahead, however. And now Dan Plante up the right side over the red line. Rips it on goal. Albin knocked it down. Chad Albin steers it behind the net. A giveaway. Plante almost got it out in front to Neil Brady. Plante near side. Pounded against the wall by Roberts. Roberts also out of the University of Michigan, played last year in Switzerland. An excellent forward. Over the line, high slot is White. White to the near point. White spun around by Manilow. His former Phantoms teammate last year in the AHL. Near point from Shard. Shoots Young, a stick save. Rebound. Far side now, Levy. Wolves short another 4 seconds. Brown poised to leave the box, sent it out in front, and Young able to trap that out in front and not allow another opportunity as the Wolves are back at full strength.
Well, we're supposed to see everything that goes on, and we're supposed to tell you all about it, but I have to be honest on this one. I want to see the replay on this because I'm not so sure how Wendell Young stopped this puck. Again, a lot of traffic in front of the net. The puck comes toward him, gets out with the right pad, makes the save, and then covers it up. Again, Wendell Young right on top of the play and in position. Actually, the puck bounces off a skate and dribbles toward him. And again, a lot of times good goaltending is just being in the position. The puck moves too quick and the guys are too big now to play that reaction game. And why Wendell Young has been able to play at a high level for as long as he has is because very rarely do you find him out of position.
Brown back on the ice after serving the slashing monitor, but LaRouche and Neal apparently get 10-minute misconducts. High slot. Bouchard had it, lost it, shoots. Young a glove save. And that puck got there just fast enough as Levy was heading in.
Well, I think we can say Chris Neal, as you mentioned, Judd, really did his job because that really hurts the Wolves a lot having Steve LaRouche off the ice for 12 minutes.
Peter Levy remains on the ice for Grand Rapids. From a small town in Siberia, which he says is hundreds of miles from civilization. Second-year pro.
Ever been to Siberia?
I've been to Fort Wayne.
Ooh.
Draw far circle in the Wolves' end. They're going to do it again. 10:40 left in the second. 1-0 Wolves. The Wolves met Grand Rapids 2 years ago on opening night here at home. The Wolves recording a 3-2 victory in that game. Overall, the Wolves 5-1-0 in the home opener. Their only loss came in 97-98 to the Milwaukee Admirals, the year they won their first cup. The Griffins win the faceoff, but can't control it, and bursting away as Belanger speeds out of the line, far side into the slot. Belanger near circle, shoots. And Albin a stick save. He didn't get much on that as Richards was draped all over Belanger. Far circle now, Belanger. Had it and lost it. Over the line right side now. Chernik fired it, I believe, into the linesman's skates, and we have an offside.
Take a look at Belanger because what he does in this rush, and get a little chuckle because that's exactly what happened. Linesman assisting. Now, Belanger does a nice job here because, you know what, he really could have shot maybe right there, but decided to carry it in a little deeper. And if you shoot from a long way out and either have it blocked or have a big carom come out the other way, sometimes you can be facing an odd man break going the other direction. But Belanger knew he had assistance coming, so kept battling his way toward the net. Young leaves the puck behind his net for Akins. About halfway through the second period, the Wolves still holding a 1-0 lead. On the line right side is White. White high slot. Shoots blocked. That one glanced off Dahl. The Wolves can't get it out, however. White on the line, left side now. Gorovikov bats it into the right corner. White back of the net. Stripped to the puck by Akins. Brown rips it around to the far side, and this one will float down. Boy, it looked like Roberts made a play at the puck, but we're going to have icing anyway. 9:44 left in the second. 1-0 Wolves. Jim, we talked about in our open, keeping things basic, keeping things simple. The Wolves trying to make a pass there that maybe they shouldn't have, deep in their own zone. Well, and the thing was, though, too, is Rob Brown got the puck on his stick behind the net and decided, you know what, let's regroup and take the face-off, and just hammered it out of his own zone. So I think that's a good example. Now, this was where the turnover was that you had talked about, and Todd White ends up shoving it into the slot. It ended up being healed, and not a very good chance, but that was right after that Rob Brown decided, you know, I'm just going to pound this thing out and we'll take the face off. This is going to be the same result in an icing call here. Well, no icing. They wave it off. Wow. Well, Rob Brown doing a little bit of hustling there and changing the outcome. High slot of the Wolves zone. The Wolves bang it up the right side. Here is Brown. An assist tonight. 4 points in the air. Over the line left side. Akins shoots. Albin a blocker save. He lets the rebound dangerously in the slot. But Roberts able to feather it up the right side and back to the Wolves line. Treble quickly up the right side. LaRose can't touch it, otherwise it would have been a two-line pass. Kwiatkowski bangs it up the near side. Now Treble forced it into the near corner. Demidov had it picked off near circle. Petrovicki holds and looks, waits. High slot. Featherstone kicked it into the right corner. Now Brown. Brown centers, blocked. Brown far corner. Brown far hash marks. Leads for Petrovicki, far point. Petrovicki forced off the puck. Grand Rapids whistles it around to the near side, and it just skips by Treble and out to center ice back into the Wolves zone. Treble will touch, and behind the play, after we get the icing call, it's Brown and Demidov who have a little discussion going on, and then Brown is grabbed by Roberts, and Treble immediately steps in there. Roberts pulls out of there. Roberts a very feisty forward. And Featherstone having a talk with David Roberts. And Demidov is pulled out of there. 8.5 left in the second. We'll start it out in a moment. 1-0 Wolves here on opening night at home. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
Their triumph was not without struggle. But through their strength and passion and determination and camaraderie, they became champions. Chicago Wolves, be a part of it.
Is this the way you like your sports? Hard-hitting, action-packed, no punches pulled. Then team up with the Chicago Sun-Times, the only newspaper that delivers sports coverage the way you want it. Chicago Sun-Times, Chicago's #1 newspaper for sports. For home delivery, call 1-888-84-TIMES.
Hey kids, Skates wants you to join the pack. For only $4.95, kids 15 and under can join the Skatesmates Kids Club and receive a Skatesmates t-shirt, an exclusive Skatesmates party with the players, an autographed picture of Skates, chances to win awesome prizes, and much more. Join today. For more information, call 1-800-THE-WOLVES. Well, apparently Demidov for the Griffins and Brown for the Wolves, each getting 2-minute minors. We'll see if anything else has been assessed. But for right now, we will see 4-on-4 hockey, a new rule, or a rule that was reinstituted, Jim, not only here in the eye, but at the NHL level. All sorts of yapping going on, and it all started with Tom Tilley's hit on Ziski back at the start of the period.
And ever since then, guys have been a little testy.
Boy, it's good to get hockey underway again.
You know, it really is. I mean, after, you know what? And we talked about it before the game, you and I. I mean, I can't sit there for 4 hours and watch a baseball playoff game. I want to see some hockey. I want to see some action.
Back of this net.
Of course, you being a Cub fan was over a long time ago. We don't talk about that.
Don't even start on that. Puck driven up the far side and back into the Wolves zone where Treble has it. Up the left side to Featherstone, his partner. Rink wide, Treble over the line, right side. Treble to the near point. Shoots. Alvin a stick save. Back of the net. Chad Alvin leaves it for Bouchard. Played it over to the far side. Featherstone went to pinch. And Bouchard sidestepped him. Over the line, right side now is King into the right circle. King into the slot. King. A pass that's intercepted by Featherstone. Bouchard at the high slot. Shoots. Oh, and that ricochet just wide. It hit off Treble on its way to the net. Near circle, Bouchard shoots. Young a stick save. And here's Mike Manilow. A lot of open ice for him. Manilow shovels it into the far corner. He'll change. Halfway through 4-on-4 here. 7.5 left in the second. 1-0 Wolves. Bouchard behind his net. Holds and waits. Grand Rapids changing a forward out there as Oliver hops on and King hops off. Far side White. Had it poke checked away by Nardella. Then White wobbled one back into the Wolves zone. Noonan will scoop it up in front of his net. The 12-year NHL veteran had it stripped by White. The Wolves can't get it out. And now Tilly, the near point. Brushed by Oliver, kicked it out to the neutral zone. Oh, the Wolves had Nardella breaking in, but they couldn't get the pass to him. Far point now Oliver. Backhanded by Tilly off his stick and back into the neutral zone. 20 seconds left of 4-on-4 hockey. Now puck to the far side of the Wolves end. Oliver turns. Chips it behind the Wolves net. White. White to the far circle to the high slot. Crowley shoots, blocked. Rebound Nardella. He'll backhand it out to center ice. Belanger over the line right side. Shoots. Oh, and he whistled that right into Alvin's midsection. Alvin covered it. And the Wolves will change. Brown back on the ice along with Demidov. We're at 5-on-5. 6:23 left in the second. 1-0 Wolves. And the Wolves' third game of the year. Here's Brown. Motors over the line right side. Into the right circle. Brown shoots. Taken down from behind. We've got a penalty on the Griffins. And Chernick doesn't like the call. It's going to be a hook, and the Wolves will go into the man advantage for the third time in the game.
Well, Rob Brown goaded Chernick into this penalty, and how he did it was by not breaking in probably as fast as he could. And Chernick probably would have been okay if the stick had stayed around Brown's waist. But as Brown turned to shoot, Chernick's stick slips down around the right leg of Rob Brown, pulls him down. The shot goes well wide. And I'll tell you what, Chud, if Rob Brown gets that shot on net, I bet the penalty doesn't get called. But because when you have a guy like Rob Brown shoot the puck that far wide of the net, you're going to get the penalty call. That's all there is to it.
Rob Brown last night after the Milwaukee game, talking to his wife, I asked what he was talking about. He said she was giving him pointers on how to score goals because he'd been snuffed on some great chances in the first two games. So what'd she say? She said, shoot it to the open spot.
Sage advice. And you know what? Rob has been married long enough to know that, you know what? Your wife is always right. So don't argue.
The Wolves 0 for 2 thus far with a power play, both of them coming in the first period.
That, of course, a couple of years ago was the social event of the year in Edmonton, right?
Yes. And his wife Holly expecting twins. Back of the net, Alvin will fire it himself up the far side and down the length of the ice. And we all get a view of how well Chad Alvin can play the puck.
Yeah, he's marvelous at it. He really is.
Back of his net now, Aikens. He'll motor up the middle. A minute 25 left on this Wolves advantage. Over the line, far side is Dahl. Dahl leaves it for Brown, far hash mark. Brown kicked it behind the net, LaRose. Near circle, Petrovicki. Trying to backhand it down low. He lost it, and the Griffins cleared. Young sets it up for Aikens. 5:10 left in the second. 1-0 Wolves. Up the middle now, LaRose, right wing feed Brown over the line right side. Brown to the right circle. Brown near corner. Brown sent it up to the near hash marks. Petrovicki holds on it, near point LaRose. LaRose high slot. Near point, a nifty pass to Nardella. Right of the net now, Petrovicki holds and looks. The Wolves not shooting. Near circle now, Brown. Brown fakes, shoots, Albin, a kick save. Far circle now, Tilly, high slot, Nardella. He had it poke checked away and out to center ice. Gorovikov barrels over the line right side. Nardella cuts off the angle. Gorovikov has it stripped from behind, and no short-handed opportunity. 24 seconds left in the Wolves' power play. Tilly over the line right side for Belanger to the near point. Petrovicki to the near circle. He has a lone goal. Near corner now. Belanger. Belanger had it swiped off his stick and out to center ice. Nardella gets it away from Roberts, but it's controlled by Patterson, who will knuckle one in, and Young plays that one well, and just behind his net is Tilly. Out of the box is Chernik. Belanger scoots by him. Over the line, high slot, Belanger. Near circle, Maniluk shoots. Rebound. Noonan lost it as Albin made a great kick save. He put the rebound in a bad spot. Back of his net now, Treble. Backhands it around to the near side. Chernik. Near point held in by Demidov, and Young able to snare that. 3:44 left in the second. The Wolves with a 1-0 lead. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
So you got your bachelor's degree, and that got you a great job, serving drinks on the beach, or washing windows, or moving furniture. Maybe you should check out the Information Technology Bachelor's degree from DeVry. It's a one-year program that will help you master the technical skills companies are looking for today. At DeVry, you'll learn by doing from teachers with real-world experience. The DeVry Information Technology Bachelor's degree. It's information that can change your life. For a higher degree of success, call 1-800-DeVry-11.
These are the kind of stories that most newsrooms can't wait to tell you they covered at 5, 6, and 10. But when you cover news around the clock like COTV, it's what we do every second of every day. For the only local news, weather, and sports anytime, turn to the only place in Chicagoland that delivers. CLTV, Chicagoland's television.
Chad Albin, not the tallest goaltender in the world, and we've talked about that. Now, you would think, okay, all you have to do is shoot high on Chad Albin, and you can beat him. Now, watch Rob Brown here from the dot. Sends it and tries to beat Chad Albin low along the ice. One thing the Wolves have not been doing is shooting very high on Albin, but you know what? Because of the way Grand Rapids has been pretty suffocating on defense so far tonight, they're not getting some chances to go up high on them, especially on rebounds.
At the same time, the Wolves not shooting with some opportunities. As we begin, the Wolves with 19 shots right now. They've had 81 in the first 2 games total. Near corner now, a steal by Paul Cruz. Trying to play it to himself. Crowley able to get in his way. Near point now, Treble feeds it back down low for Cruz. Cruz far corner. Back of the net now, Brady. Brady right of the net, centers. Albin able to stop that with the paddle. And we get a whistle. The Wolves playing very smartly there, Jim, letting Paul Cruz go down low and battle away against one guy who's normally a forward and another guy who's not a real physical defenseman.
And a little technical point on goaltending by Chad Albin there. One thing goaltenders do now is they get the stick along the ice when they're guarding the post like that, so you can't make a pass across the front of the crease. Albin, he wasn't even looking at the puck when it hit the stick, but he had the stick on the ice to try and cut off the pass, and that's exactly what happened.
3:15 left in the second, 1-0 Wolves. The Griffins win the faceoff. Crowley forced to come up the near side, and he'll golf one up the middle and back into the Wolves zone. Treble gets in Oliver's way. The Wolves crank it up the far side and back to the Griffins line. Plante had it and lost it in the center circle, getting it back. Treble played it over to Brady, who wasn't expecting it. Now Cruz lost it. Far corner, King gave it away in the high slot to his former Islander line mate Dan Plante. Over the line, left side now, Cruz fakes. Plante far corner, poke checked away. The Wolves changing. Over the line, right side now is King. Shoots, blocked. And that goes over the glass into the crowd. It looked like Brady may have been struck awkwardly.
Yeah, a little bit surprising that Brady may not have been a little seriously hurt on that as he went spinning around and tumbling to the ice.
Another exciting season of Chicago Wolves hockey is underway. Guarantee great seats and great savings with a Wolves season ticket package. Full season and the select 21-game plans include a commemorative gift, an exclusive party with the players, a subscription to Howls, the team's newsletter, discounted parking options, and much more. For more information or to order a season ticket package, call 1-800-THE-WOLVES. Their capacity crowd on hand. They're filled to the gills here at the Allstate Arena. As far as it has been an entertaining opening game here in 2000-2001 for the Wolves home slate. Near corner, the Wolves zone. Dahl lost it to Emmons. Dahl, who's lost his stick. Shaslivy is going to use that against him. Well, the Wolves get it free. Here's Lawrence. Feeds Petrovicki behind the play. We're going to have a penalty as Shaslivy and Dahl got knotted up. We'll see what gets called here.
Just a pile of players out in front of Wendell Young as Kevin Dahl has that rather sheepish grin as the Wolves penalty box door opens up, and the veteran defenseman is going to go off. Grand Rapids will end this period on a power play. Very top of the screen. Kevin Dahl thought nobody was watching, gave Shaslivy a little bit of a shove. Busted.
Good eyes by referee Jerry Pateman, and Kevin Dahl will head into the sin bin. A very physical defenseman, two-time IHL All-Star on loan from the Columbus Blue Jackets. Shaslivy will grab a seat as the Griffins begin their fourth power play. They're scoreless with it.
You know, Judd, it's going to be very interesting with two expansion teams in the NHL this year to see how willing those two clubs are going to be to move guys in and out, and you wonder what effect it's going to have on some of the teams here in the I, because both of those teams have a few veterans stashed here and there.
And Minnesota has its full affiliate in Cleveland. The Griffins drive it into the far corner of the Wolves' end. Treble blasted around to the near side, and Bouchard's not going to be in position. And this will come down the length of the ice. 1:50 left in the second. Alvin leaves it in the near corner. Well, plays it away from Maniluk as the Wolves working hard down low. Guy LaRose, an outstanding penalty killer. Here's Mike Crowley, head on a swivel, up left wing, drives it into the left corner. Far side Featherstone, chopped at it, couldn't get it out. Oliver right circle in the slot now. Crowley turns, his pass denied by Treble. The Wolves can't get it out. Near circle Crowley, rink wide, broken up, and the Wolves break back 2-on-1. Here's LaRose over with Maniluk. Oh, and LaRose's pass didn't get over the defender stick. Bouchard denying Maniluk an opportunity. That came at the end of a shift. Here's Bouchard center circle, over the line, high slot. Dumps it into the far corner. Young sweeps it over to the near side. Plant plays it back to Treble. He whistles it ahead, but not out. The Wolves' Dan Plant kicks it up the middle and out to center ice. Now Nardella over the line, right side for Brady. Apparently we have a two-line pass. And Neil Brady complaining, boy, that looked like it was a good pass. We'll see where the faceoff comes. Bob Nardella complaining. Scoreless thus far here in his first 3 games of the season. 55 seconds left in the second. 1-0 Wolves over the Griffins. And 44 seconds remaining on the minor to Kevin Dahl. Draw at the far point on the Wolves' end. White wins it out to center ice, and Richards will blast it in. Far corner now, Nardella. Played it behind his net to his partner. Tilly will rip it up the near side, held in by Richards. Near corner, Shaslivy into the slot. Robertson's shot is blocked. Shaslivy now left of the net. Young out to play it. Sends it to the far point. Held in by Patterson. High slot, Richards shoots. Young, they score! Well, the traffic coming across Peter Shaslivy, and it's a power play goal scored by Grand Rapids with half a minute remaining here in the second to tie things at 1. That one timed out just perfectly for the Griffins as they just fire the puck at the net. It's Richards who cranked it out in front, and Shaslivy got a piece of that to knock it by Young. Nothing he could do there. A good deflection underneath Young's glove, and we're tied up at 1 with 31 seconds remaining in the second. So the Griffins score on the power play. Upside at center ice, Kwiatkowski knocked it into the Wolves zone. Out at center ice, Butsayev has it. Lost it. Tilly holds onto it. Marusha's return to the ice after serving the 10-minute misconduct. 15 seconds left here in the second. Far side now, Petrovicki. Poked it behind the Griffins net. Kwiatkowski banging along with Brown. 5 seconds left. And Butsayev comes out in front of his net dangerously. And that'll do it for the second 20 minutes of play. Joining Jim during our second intermission will be Wolves winger Rob Brown. We'll hear from Wolves general manager Kevin Cheveldayoff. And of course, we'll have second period highlights and stats, so stay with us. Brown and the Wolves head off, evened up at 1 apiece after a late power play goal by the Griffins. The only goal scored in the second, scored by Peter Shaslevy, his third from White and Richards at 19:28 shots after 40 minutes. 20 for the Wolves, 16 for the Griffins. Bring you back in just a moment with Rob Brown. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
Anyone can offer you insurance over the web or an 800 number, but who's going to be there when you really need it? Allstate introduces the Good Hands Network with Allstate.com, 1-800-ALLSTATE, and your local agent. Fully connected, working together to help meet your needs on your schedule. And only the Good Hands Network offers you an agent, no matter how you come to us. It's the best way yet to put you in good hands.
Trucks. Fundamentally tougher than any panty-waist car. Hey, no one ever wrote a song about his first hatchback. At Craftsman, we figured the only thing better than trucks is racing trucks. So we're the official tools of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Tough trucks, tougher drivers, and the toughest tools. Craftsman.
Continue the celebration of their 2000 Turner Cup Championship on Saturday night, October 28th, when they face the Cleveland Lumberjacks at the Allstate Arena. The first 10,000 fans in attendance will receive replica championship collector rings, courtesy of Henry K. Jewelers. If you got one of these in 1998, you know what a great premium item this is, so make your plans now. Tickets are on sale at the Allstate Arena box office and through Ticketmaster. Lower level seats that get you close to the action start at just $15. For more information, call 1-800-THE-WOLVES. Well, here in the second intermission at the Allstate Arena, the Griffins have evened things up at 1 apiece with the Wolves. The Wolves getting an opening goal at the 10-10 mark in the first period from ex-Griffin Robert Petrovicki on assists from Steve LaRouche and Rob Brown. And the Griffins able to tie it up with 32 seconds remaining in the second as Peter Shaslevy scored the goal. Shaslevy, the man who got hit, which forced the power play. Let's send it downstairs to Jim Blaney, who's joined by Rob Brown for our LaSalle Bank interview. Sorry, my mistake, not down there as of yet. Hopefully Rob Brown will join us in just a minute. Shaslevy, as I mentioned, took the hit from behind from Kevin Dahl and repaid the Wolves by scoring his third goal of the season. Last year he made his National Hockey League debut, scoring 2 goals and 7 points in 13 games with Ottawa. He's a low-round pick, but a gem discovered by this organization. And the Ottawa Senators can look forward to some great hockey from Peter Shaslevy for years to come. There are a lot of great prospects in this Griffins squad. And it's been a very interesting game, to say the least. Probably, obviously, the best that the Wolves have played thus far, especially defensively. They've only yielded 16 shots, but they've only got 1 goal. Let's send it downstairs where Rob Brown has joined Jim Blaney.
All right, Judd, thank you very much, and welcome back to Chicago. It's good to see you back in here, Rob. I know it's got to do a little catching up, but it's been an interesting few years. Congratulations on getting the shot in Pittsburgh, but we're awfully glad to have you back here.
Well, thanks. I had a lot of fun the last few years in Pittsburgh, and things didn't work out there, and I was looking forward to the opportunity to come back here. I enjoyed my stay here before, and looking forward to a good season this year.
Now, you could have gone just about anywhere. You had your pick as long as you wanted to continue playing, but you came here to Chicago, and I'm pretty sure I know the reasons why, but just for the fans out there who might not know what type of organization this is as far as emphasizing winning, did that have anything to do with the fact you wanted to come back here and play with the Wolves?
I think the main reason, it was a very comfortable place for my wife and I, and the ownership here, the organization here treated us unbelievably. I mean, this organization is better than most NHL organizations. The way that people are treated, the way that it's run, and it's just first class. And when I had the opportunity to come back here, I jumped at it. We enjoyed it here. It's the type of city that we'd like to settle down in and live in, and we're looking forward to being here for a long time.
Twins on the way?
Yeah, my wife's 3 months pregnant right now, and we're looking forward to having twins in April. So right for the playoff time, lots of sleep.
Do you know boy, girl, 2 girls? Do you know that yet?
No, we're waiting until the last minute. We're going to see. We'll be surprised the day it happens.
Get some sleep, my friend, because, pal, you're going to need it, because it's all over once they get here. You know that, don't you?
It's not going to change my lifestyle, is it?
Oh, no, not at all, not at all. Well, I guess you'll pull the old, well, I got a game tomorrow night, honey. I can't get up in the middle of the night. As I watch you play, you look like a different player to me. You seem stronger. What changed in your game because of your role being a little bit different when you were playing in Pittsburgh as opposed to your previous stints in the NHL and even here in the IHL?
Well, when I went back to Pittsburgh, I was placed in a role where I was mainly a checker, a third-line player that went out there and tried to use body contact, play good defensive hockey, and over the last 3 years I really hasn't been given a chance to play offensive. So coming back here now, everything right now is think defense first, think hit, things like that. So it's going to take a while to get back into the offensive flow of the game, but I think I'm a better player now because I know how to play in both ends, and hopefully it'll transfer onto the ice and be a successful season for myself and the team.
Rob, thanks for joining us. Welcome back to Chicago. Rob Brown of the Chicago Wolves joining us here in intermission number 2. The game all knotted up between the Wolves and the Griffins at the end of 2 periods of play. Back with more in a bit. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
Are you tired of overnighters that don't go over well? Or extra beds that take an extra set of hands just to set up? Then the Aero Extra Bed in a Minute is your dream come true. This amazing premium quality airbed automatically inflates itself, turning any room into a bedroom in just 1 minute. There's no hand pump, no foot pump, no pumping at all. Just plug it in, push the button, and the patented built-in pump instantly inflates the Aero bed in just 1 minute. It's so easy, it even unrolls itself. So BYOB, bring your own bed on vacation, on business trips, in your camper, on your boat, or even keep a spare in your car trunk. It's like sleeping on air, anytime, anywhere, even every night. The AeroBed gives you the same comfort and support of premium mattresses at only a fraction of the cost, with luxury features like the exclusive adjustable support sleep system and the one-touch comfort control that instantly adjusts the bed from soft to firm while you stay in bed. Plus, the AeroBed deflates in about 5 seconds for easy storage, using 80% less space than a rollaway bed. The Aero Extra Bed in a Minute is non-allergenic and easy to clean. And best of all, it uses all your standard size linens. Your AeroBed comes complete with the attached electric airflow pump, the one-touch comfort controls, and patented quick-release deflation valve, all for just 4 easy payments of only $33. But listen to this. If you call within the next 30 minutes, we'll take off an entire payment. Through this special television offer, you'll receive the AeroBed for just 3 easy payments of $33. Plus, as a special bonus, we'll give you this convenient carrying bag absolutely free. Call the toll-free number right now to get Imaginaire's Aero Extra Bed in a Minute sleep system, plus the free carrying bag, all for just 3 easy payments of $33, plus shipping and handling. You can use your credit card or pay by check right over the phone. Turn any room into a bedroom in just 1 minute with the Aero Extra Bed in a Minute from Imaginaire. Call the toll-free number on your screen now.
Welcome back to the second intermission here at the Allstate Arena. One apiece, Griffins and Wolves here in the Wolves home opener. On the out-of-town IHL scoreboard, sponsored by the Chicago Sun-Times. Cincinnati with a 3-2 edge over Detroit, looking for their first win of the year. Cleveland with a 1-0 lead over Houston in Houston at the end of 40 minutes of play. Elsewhere, Kansas City trying to improve to 4-0. They lead Milwaukee 3-1 in the second period at Kemper Arena in Kansas City. And Orlando with a 1-0 edge over Manitoba in the second period up in Winnipeg. Before the Wolves home opener, I had a chance to visit with Wolves general manager Kevin Cheveldayoff, who talked about a number of things, including assessing this year's team. Well, now that the offseason is over and finally games have begun, what do you think of what you've built?
Well, I think it's still a work in progress. I think it's always exciting to see what you've been talking about, what you've been putting up on the board all summer. It's exciting to see it on the ice. And we have a little saying, I guess, in our office, summer isn't officially over till you have your first loss. So I guess summer is officially over. And, you know, we're interested to see how this team reacts, how it gels, how it mixes, how it's, you know, going to grow together. So it's a work in progress, but certainly I'm happy with what I see.
What do you think about this team early on? I mean, obviously the team has only played 2 games, but in some ways on paper, what do you think is better about this club versus last year's team?
It's always interesting. Everyone says, you know, do you have a better club than last year? And, you know, certainly winning a championship, you know, it's hard pressed to say you have a better club at any point in time the following year because you don't know. And even the club that we have today is going to change, could change tomorrow, could certainly change, you know, come playoff time. And, you know, I think we have good speed. I think we have, you know, exciting goaltending, a young goaltender who's, you know, beginning his pro career. We have, you know, a veteran defense, virtually the same defense as we had last year with a couple of changes. Certainly there's been some changes up front, but, you know, we've brought in some young guys that we think can fill, if not, you know, well, if not even exceed some of the people that have left. So, you know, there's great expectations for this team. There's great, I guess, excitement with this team, and certainly I'm anxious for the next game and the next game and the next game.
Who are you most excited to add to this lineup? You have a lot of guys returning from last year, 12 who won the Cup with this team last year, but who are you excited to be able to acquire?
Well, obviously getting a young goaltender in Rick DiPietro gives us a level of youth, a level of enthusiasm that, you know, maybe we haven't had in the past. We've had a lot of veteran people before and under my tenure, and having a guy like Rick is going to be an interesting, you know, prospect for the coaches as well as for myself and for the team. So, you know, getting him is an interesting thing for the organization and the league in general.
What sort of an adjustment is it, not just for him, but for the rest of the team to get used to a 19-year-old goalie? Granted, he's not just your average goalie. He was the #1 pick in the 2000 draft.
Well, I don't think it's so much what we have to get used to in those respects. As anybody, he's got his talents, he's got his strengths, he's got his weaknesses, and I don't think that anyone really thinks about him being 19 years old when they go out onto the ice. Everyone's focusing on winning, and the bottom line is playing as a team. It's no one person out there, and that's been the success of this organization. And you know, the guys are going to play on their merit, and John Anderson and Marty Howe are going to mold the team in a fashion that they are going to be a team. And it's not going to be one person night in, night out that's going to be the MVP or the first star. It's going to be a, you know, a collective group of people in that room. So that is the focal point of our team. It's not a matter of how old you are, whether you're, you know, a 37-year-old veteran or a 19-year-old rookie. You're a Chicago Wolf.
That's Wolves general manager Kevin Cheveldayoff. The Chicago Wolves meeting the Grand Rapids Griffins tonight in the home opener. Jim Blaney and I will be back in a moment with highlights and stats from the second period. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
Their triumph was not without struggle. But through their strength and passion and determination and camaraderie, they became champions. Chicago Wolves. Be a part of it.
That is so sweet.
Hey, here's your free phone for making the donation.
Want a free digital phone and $20 sporting goods cash? Donate $20 to Special Olympics from Cellular One.
Second period highlights brought to you by Clark. 1 goal in the period. Same story really as the first period, except Grand Rapids gets the goal here. A little traffic in front of Wendell Young in the lake going. And the Grand Rapids Griffins get their first goal of the game. And you know what? Wendell Young has been on top of the game all night long, and that's a tough chance when you have a man crossing in front of you. Chess Levy gets credit for the goal, got a stick on it. It's just an awful tough one to stop. And you know what? We are now set up for a pretty good finish here. And Judd, we have a 1-1 game going to the third period. It's been tight. It's been close checking. The chances have been few and far between. It's got a playoff type of game feel to it, even though here we are in mid-October.
Yes, it does. Coca-Cola stats after 40 minutes. Shots in favor of the Wolves, 20-16. The Griffins scoring on that power play, 1 for 4 with a man advantage. The Wolves 0 for 3. They're scoreless in their last 2 games. The shots in favor on the power play of the Griffins, 5-3. Hits very even. Turnovers, the Wolves have committed 10. The Griffins with 8. We are dead even at 1 apiece as we start the third period.
Had a little bit of chippy play as well here. That started early in the second period. Full house on hand. They're revved up. Should be a good third period coming your way.
Wendell Young in goal to our right. Chad Albin in goal to our left. The Griffins have outscored their opponents in the first 3 games 6-0 in the third. The Wolves win the faceoff and we are underway. Back of his net now, Trouble. Waits, drives it up the far side. Belanger returns it to Trouble up the left side, Featherstone, and the Wolves execute the breakout. Wolves crank it into the left corner behind the net. Touched up by Bouchard before Petrovicki, and we have icing. The Chicago Wolves simulcast may not be reproduced or retransmitted without the express written consent of the Chicago Wolves. No unauthorized use is permitted.
You know, it's just been tough for either of these teams really to get any great scoring chances going because the defensive coverage has been pretty good in this game. Plus the fact Grand Rapids especially has done such a nice job of clogging things up in the middle of the ice. Chad Albin really hasn't had a whole lot of difficult chances.
Drawn near circle in the Wolves' end. Featherstone kicks the puck behind his net to Trouble. Trouble stripped from behind by Chernick, but recovered. And the Wolves just get it out to center ice. Here's Maniluk over the line left side. Maniluk lost it. Featherstone comes in and at least swatted it to the near hash mark. Chess Levy off the end boards over to the far side. And it's rattled up left wing by Richards back into the Wolves zone. No icing here. Trouble scoops it up behind his net and stops. Just underway here in the third. We're evened up at 1. That's right along with Jim Blaney. Opening night here at home at the Allstate Arena. Over the line right side now, Noonan. Stripped to the puck. Demidov, a right wing feed that misses everybody. This should be icing as Featherstone cruises back. And he touches, and that's what the call is.
There was one thing the Wolves were doing during the first period that has been kind of shut off as an avenue, and that was the Wolves would take the puck in deep and then try and send it across the crease on Chad Albin. And with Albin back in his net, at least as the rush was coming up ice, they were able to get that pass off. They weren't able to do that in the second period because a couple times in the first period the Wolves got chances off the weak side because of guys busting for the net and the puck coming through the crease.
Far corner of the Griffin zone. Here's Brown, who has an assist tonight. Shoots Albin, holds, and we have a stop and play. That's something that the Wolves have not done a lot of, is just shoot from the perimeter and crash the net.
And get it up high on Chad Albin, and that's what they did on that shot because let's face it, if he drops down into a crouch or drops to his knees, there's a lot of room up above his shoulders. There's the shot by Rob Brown. Not a great chance, but what did Rob Brown do? He got it on net with some mustard.
Right circle now in the Griffin zone. The Wolves. LaRouche shoots. That didn't get through. Rebound. Just avoids Brown, and the Griffins break back the other way. White saucers it to the left of Young and taps it by Roberts to the far corner. And now Nardello with it. 3-on-2 the other way. Here's LaRouche over the line, right side for Brown into the right circle. Into the slot. Petrovicki had it hacked off his stick and look out in transition. A 3-on-2, but Petrovicki will jump up, look out. Walking in, Gorovikov backhand, he scores! The Wolves couldn't get back in transition after turning it over up high in the Griffin zone. It's 2-1 Griffins.
You know what, Judd? It almost looked like the Wolves let up a little bit because there was a 3-on-2 for Grand Rapids coming through the neutral zone. The Wolves had Tom Tilley getting back to make sure everybody was covered, and then it almost looked like They lost track of the play for just a second, and that was good enough for the Grand Rapids Griffins to continue on with the play and for Gorovikov to come in and beat Wendell Young. It really did. It looked like everybody was accounted for on this one. The next thing you know, the puck is behind Wendell Young, and now for the first time in this game, the Wolves are trailing 2-1. It was a 3-on-2 for the Wolves going up the ice. Very quickly, it turned into a 3-on-2 going the other way, and even though it looked like they had it covered for a moment and everything taken care of, Gorovikov came through, got in, beat Wendell Young, and now the Wolves have to play from behind.
Young stops the puck out in front of his net, leaves it for Aikens behind. He'll drive it over to the far side. So 2 quick goals really by the Griffins, one late in the second and one here early in the third, as the Wolves down 2-1. King at the far point in the Wolves end. High slot, Crowley shoots Young. The chest save, and he covers the rebound. And we get a whistle as the Wolves are starting to get outworked here a little bit.
It's a hockey cliche, Judd, but it's often so many times goals at the tail end of a period and at the start of a period often seem to have a bigger magnitude. The Wolves were pretty well rolling along with a 1-0 lead getting late in the second period. All of a sudden, the Grand Rapids Griffins get a goal to make it 1-1. Then John Anderson's team, they have a goal scored on them in the early part of here, the third period, and now 17:46 left in the third, and the Wolves have to play catch-up.
Far circle in the Wolves end. Crowley can't snap off a shot as Lawrence pounds him against the wall. Along the near side, Aikens dribbles it up left wing and out to center ice. Ed Patterson, rink wide to his partner Mike Crowley. Puck fired up the far side and out to center ice. Dahl took a check from Oliver, got around it and poked it in. And Crowley stands up Dahl behind the play. Griffin's able to kick the puck back deep into the Wolves zone. Lawrence thought about firing it around to the far side. The Wolves bank it into the left corner of the Griffin zone. No icing here.
Good wave off on the icing there.
The Wolves making some changes along with the Griffins. Bouchard pokes it into the near corner of the Wolves zone. Now it's sent down the length of the ice, and this will be icing as Bouchard touches. 16:53 left in the third. 2-1 Griffins. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
From the quarter mile at St. Louis to the third turn at Talladega to the pits of Laguna Seca. Wherever innovation is the margin between win and lose, the pros reach for the same tools you do. Craftsman, the official tools of kart, NHRA, and NASCAR.
Is this the way you like your sports? Hard-hitting, action-packed, no punches pulled. Then team up with the Chicago Sun-Times, the only newspaper that delivers sports coverage the way you want it. Chicago Sun-Times, Chicago's #1 newspaper for sports. For home delivery, call 1-888-84-TIMES.
Remember that icing is not an automatic call. When the puck comes back, if you're going to touch up, one thing that you have to do is you have to hustle back to get to the puck. The Grand Rapids Griffins thought they were going to get an icing call here, and the reason why they didn't get it is because Travis Richards kind of took his time getting back. The linesman, I thought, made a good call in waving that one off.
Around near circle in the Wolves zone, occupied by Wendell Young. To our right, John Emmons kicked out of the faceoff.
Boy, Judd, it's amazing how this game has just turned around here in just the last few minutes of play.
LaRose wins the faceoff. Treble rifles it around to the far side, and Maniluk forces it out to center ice. Cruising is LaRose. He'll drive into the left corner. Back of the net now, Albin. Played it up the near side. Back of the net now, Maniluk. Maniluk played it to himself, or tried to, as Bouchard gets in his way. Bouchard still holding him up behind the play. Albin got it to the near point, right circle now, LaRose. Shoots just wide. That went wide of the near post, and the Griffins clear. Best shift for the Wolves thus far here in the third. Featherstone lost it off his skate, but he's able to recover and sweep it out to center ice. Near corner in the Wolves zone, Featherstone. Back of the net, he stops. He was terrific last year in the playoffs. 3 goals, 2 game winners. Near circle now, Treble. Bangs it up the near side and out to center ice. And the Griffins will snap it right back in as their forecheck starting to clamp down. Treble behind his net. Treble up the middle. Double. Center circle. A little deflected over the line. Near corner now Lawrence. Back of the net Lawrence. Lawrence with some speed to the far circle. Centers. Noonan couldn't snag that. And the Griffins will dump it deep into the Wolves zone. Tilly. Far corner. Stops. Plays it ahead. And here's Lawrence. He's got 22 guests on hand. Over the line left side. Nardella shoots. Alvin a glove save on that low rocket. And we got a whistle with 15:21 left in the third. 2-1 Griffins.
Bob Nardella certainly got all that shot, and I think that's one thing the Wolves are going to have to start doing. Take the attitude here in the third period that there is no such thing as a bad shot. Bobby Nardella winds up top of the circle, got all of it. Chad Albin flashes out with the glove and makes the save. Nice glove save right out on top of the crease. He's getting confident as this game goes on.
Drawn near circle in the Griffin zone. Belanger cannot win it cleanly. And the Griffins will waft it down the length of the ice. Tilly will cruise back and touch. And we have icing as the Griffins aren't taking many chances. Bruce Cassidy just has his team clearing it in and playing a very defensive posture, up by only a goal.
Yeah, you're on the road. You're up against the Turner Cup champs, and I think Grand Rapids so far has played a very disciplined defensive hockey game, and now it's playing to their advantage because they have a 2-1 lead.
Drawn near circle in the Griffins end again. Here's Crowley behind his net, up the far side, and it's snapped out to center ice by White. Gloved by Tilly, and he'll poke it back in. Near circle now Lawrence. Lawrence back of the net. Lawrence tried to center, blocked. Far corner now White. A nifty backhand pass over to the far side. 3-on-2 the other way as Roberts comes across. Roberts to the high slot. Roberts looks in, pulls it around a check, and it goes underneath Nardella, who's able to freeze. And we got to stop as the Wolves get three guys caught deep, all the forwards.
Things are starting to come a little bit apart for the Wolves right here. They've got to battle through this stretch of the game where all of a sudden things just aren't going their way. Roberts continuing on, tries to shovel the backhander. Bob Nardella has his stick along the ice and has it lying flat, and that's important because you don't want to have it angled up and have the puck deflect over your goaltender's shoulder. Nardella making a nice play, blocking the pass from going through. And even if it had, Brian Noonan was there with pretty good coverage as well. But as you mentioned, Judd, too many guys get caught in deep as the Wolves maybe starting to press here just a little bit.
High slot Richards shoots wide. He got a lot on that one. Along the near side now. Petrovicki has the lone Wolves goal. Got it out to center ice. Petrovicki up the line left side now for Lewis into the near circle. Looks in backhand. Alvin a great glove save as that puck looked like it was rolling on LaRouche. Tried to flip it over the backhand at the near post and couldn't.
Well, Chad Albin, you may get the idea, okay, Western Pro League goaltender, has a little bit of IHL experience, but you know what? Really, Judd, I think the only rap on this guy is his size. This guy can play, and he's made two nifty glove saves, and he had better get ready for the onslaught because now every Wolf that gets in close is going to start chopping at it and taking shots. That was a nice shot by LaRouche. They got to get a little more elevation on it.
LaRouche, 31 goals last year. Far point now, LaRouche shoots. Ricochets over to the near circle, Petrovicki. Near circle now, Brown. High slot, Aikens shoots. Albin the stick save. Rebound over to the far side, and King with it. Center circle now to Oliver. He'll backhand it into the far corner of the Wolves zone. Young out to play it. Kutsayev got a piece of that to keep it in the near corner. Just under 14 minutes remaining in regulation. Griffins with a 2-1 lead. Kutsayev pulls around LaRouche. Kutsayev saucers it out in front, and it's kicked to Brown. Motoring the other way is LaRouche. Out of the line left side, Petrovicki. A long shift for these guys. Left circle, Brown shoots. Albin a stick save. Back of the net now. The Griffins will crank it down the length of the ice. Any sign of danger. And it's touched up by trouble. We have icing with 13:26 left in the third. The Wolves trail 2-1.
Well, you would think that Rob Brown going to be one of the guys that is going to be looking to shoot first and ask questions later. As there's 13:26 remaining here in the third period. Rob Brown from the dot, passes up the shot, waits a little longer, didn't get much on it. Just slid it along the ice. The defensive coverage again by the Grand Rapids Griffins, keeping the Wolves from really pulling the trigger and getting a lot on. That was nice defense by Butsayev there. Just tied up Rob Brown enough so that he just couldn't get a good wrister up high.
Far point trouble. Shoots. And Alvin a glove save. A good wrist shot by Dan Treble up high. He snapped that one.
You know, the Wolves are starting to get off some pretty good shots, but Albin is getting a good clean look at the puck. Now that the Wolves are starting to get some shots squeezed off, the next thing is to get some traffic in front of the net, battle your way through. And that's another thing the Grand Rapids Griffins have been doing very well in this game, is not allowing people to crash the net, look for rebounds or obstruct the view of the goaltender.
Right of the net, Treble backhand. That didn't get through. Rebound out in front. And we got a delayed penalty upcoming as the Griffins just taking too much punishment down low. And Dan Treble smartly shies away from Chris Neal, who might have just taken a senseless minor penalty.
Chris Neal just chopped Dan Treble, looking to goad Treble into at least going off with a minor of his own, but Treble didn't go for it. And Glenn Featherstone was getting a little extra from the referee, but it is only going to be Neal going off to the box. And again, Neal tried to correct the situation by trying to go Dan Treble, but Dan Treble knows with his team down 2-1 and a power play with 13 minutes left, this very well could be a key stretch of the game for the Wolves. Darn stick. Made me do it.
Chris Neal will grab a seat. 14 minutes in penalties tonight for Chris Neal. The Wolves scoreless with a power play and 3 chances tonight. Overall this season, 1 for 14. And an opportunity here to tie things up in the man advantage. Gorovikov with a goal at 1:48 put the Griffins on top here in the third. The Wolves win the draw. Far point now, Featherstone. Top far circle Noonan. His pass down low, blocked by Bouchard. And that allows the Griffins to clear.
Too bad the Wolves couldn't get a chance out of that, because that was a nice job on the faceoff by Brian Noonan. Tied up his man and won the draw.
Featherstone behind his net. Big shot. He'll fire it up the middle. That hit Noonan's skate. And countering is Shaslevy, who has a goal tonight on the power play, which tied things up late in the first. Shaslevy finally stripped to the puck. Belanger up the right side to Noonan. Cross ice for Lawrence. He'll rip it into the left corner. Far side, Shaslevy gets to the puck. Knocked out of midair by Featherstone, but they're going to say a high stick. And we have a face-off that will come outside the Griffins' blue line.
Mark Lawrence going out on the power play for the Wolves, and you would expect his role as he was out there in that situation was simply to camp out in front of the net, get some size, maybe obstruct the view of Chad Albin. But the Wolves couldn't hold it in after Noonan won the draw, then couldn't hold it in after the dump in by Lawrence. So now they'll send out the next group of power play skaters.
A minute 20 remaining in the minor to Neal. The Griffins win the face-off. They'll carry it out to center ice back toward their own line. And Patterson at the near point will fire it back into the Wolves zone. Here's Tilly behind his net. Tilly still looking for his first point of the year. Fine offensive defenseman. Tripped up by White out at center ice. Brown fired it off a stick over the glass into the crowd, and we get a stop. But clearly the Wolves have changed their tactics. They are not trying to carry it in here. They are dumping it in, and they are firing shots.
They're trying to crash in, and unfortunately they've had one dump in that was sent out and knocked down by a high stick, and then Rob Brown, trying to hammer it in that time, has his dump in attempt deflected, and it goes into the crowd. So John Anderson's team just unable to get set up in the offensive zone in this power play so far.
Off far side at center ice as Anderson contemplates how he can get his team to even things up at 2. A minute left on the Wolves power play. LaRouche able to win it to the high slot. Grand Rapids saucers a backhand to the near corner of the Wolves zone. Young leaves it behind the net for Tilly. Tilly up the right side. Left wing feed to his partner Nardella. Over the line left side, Nardella. Nardella to the slot. LaRouche had it, lost it. And it's sent down the lane. LaRouche has had some chances. That time, puck just didn't stay for him. Nardella, high slot of his own zone. Fires up the middle, and Petrovicki tapped it into the far corner. Bouchard gets there. Brown intercepts at the far hash marks far corner. Petrovicki pulls it around Bouchard. 15 seconds left in the power play for the Wolves. Back of the net, Petrovicki trying to kick it to LaRouche. He controls, fires to Brown. Brown at the far point, spreads it out. Right of the net, Petrovicki walks in, backhands it behind the net. Penalty to Neal is over, he's out. LaRouche sends it into the slot, and the Griffins break back. Chernick at the red line lost it. Nardella's pass picked off by Chernick. Near circle now, Neal. Right corner, Emmons centers, blocked. Emmons gets it back, centers, picked off, and we have a penalty on the Wolves. 10:52 left in the third. 2-1 Griffins. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
It's the smash hit comedy of Chicago, Late Night Catechism, now in its 8th year. Come see the show the critics are calling an uproarious piece of interactive comedy, a habit-forming hoot, one of the most enjoyable evenings of theater, a Chicago experience. Late Night Catechism gets a gold star from the New World, the Chicago Archdiocese newspaper. Late Night Catechism, now at the Royal George Theater in Chicago. For tickets, call 312-988-9000 or Ticketmaster.
Hi, I'm John LaRoquette. Being told your child has cancer is probably the hardest thing a parent can face. First, there's shock, disbelief, an overwhelming sense of grief and dread. But there's also hope. There's St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, the world's leading childhood cancer research center. At St. Jude, parents are given hope that their child can survive, and many do. Today, over 60% of St. Jude's patients are surviving, and you can help make that 100%. Call 1-800-USS-JUDE for more information.
Wolves just got done with a power play in which they did not convert. Now Grand Rapids is going to get a chance with the extra man. Tom Tilley working in front of the net. Going to go with the cross check. That'll get called every time in front of the net.
So Tilley will grab a seat. The Griffins scored with their last power play to tie the game. They have an early goal in the third period from Gorovikov to take the lead. A critical moment here in the game for Chicago. Far circle now, Butsayev in the Wolves zone. Left of the net, centered. Oliver couldn't hold on to it. Oliver gets it back. Far circle, Butsayev. Far point now, Crowley. Near point, Roberts. Shoots wide. Oliver was camped out in front. Oliver to the far corner. Far point now, Crowley. Far hash marks, Butsayev. Near point, Roberts. Shoots that one deflected into the near corner off of Derek King. Back to the Wolves net now, Oliver to the near corner, King. King looking back door. He's got a defenseman sneaking in, Oliver. Near circle. Wolves short for another minute 14. Near point now, Butsayev to the high slot, Crowley. The Griffins passing beautifully. High slot now, Butsayev. Near circle, Roberts. He's got Roberts, Oliver open out in front. And the Wolves able to freeze the puck. And we get a stop and play as Dahl rolled over on it. 9:51 left in the third, 2-1 Griffins. Gather your pack for an outing with the Wolves at the Allstate Arena. Groups of 15 or more get savings on tickets, group leader gift, recognition on the Arena Matrix board, and much more. For more information and to order group tickets, call 1-800-THE-WOLVES.
Neil Brady's had kind of a tough night. Got slashed earlier in the game, and on that last sequence, had the puck roll up his stick and appear either hit him in the mouth or the chin, and he'd make his way to the bench on the stoppage in play. Well, you know what? The way the Wolves are going, they may have that many banners up in the rafters someday. Already got 2 of them up there.
Draw far circle in the Chicago end. And Featherstone looks up and he'll whistle it down the length of the ice. Wolves short for another 50 seconds. Here's Bouchard wheeling up the middle. Left wing feed now, Crowley over the line left side. He'll crank it behind the net. The near point, Bouchard, who almost lost it in the skates. Featherstone knocked it out of midair, and there's a whistle that's blown, and Featherstone, I think, has a good objection there. You can knock it out of midair with a high stick, but if it's touched by the other team, it's negated.
That was a great show of hands by Glenn Featherstone. That puck was in close quarters and got the stick up and knocked it down, and I agree with you, Judd. I think he has a beef there.
Featherstone, outstanding hands for a big man. 6'5", more than 220 pounds. Far corner of the Wolves' own chest leading. Far corner now, back of the Wolves' net. It's Gorovikov. Stops and looks. Near circle now, White. White, right of the net now, Gorovikov walks out in front, slides it wide of the far post. Wolves short for another 10 seconds. Back of the Wolves' net, Gorovikov. Gorovikov in the near corner just got it around Featherstone. Nifty move there. Now White right of the net. The Wolves back at full strength. Here's Bouchard, gets around one check. High slot, Borovikov shoots. White denied by Young out in front on a second attempt as the 18-year pro lays down and makes a superb stop to keep his team close. 2-1 Griffins over the Wolves midway through the third. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
Anyone can offer you insurance over the web or an 800 number, but who's going to be there when you really need it? Allstate introduces the Good Hands Network with Allstate.com, 1-800-ALLSTATE, and your local agent. Fully connected, working together to help meet your needs on your schedule. And only the Good Hands Network offers you an agent, no matter how you come to us. It's the best way yet to put you in good hands.
Their triumph was not without struggle. But through their strength and passion and determination and camaraderie, they became champions. Chicago Wolves, be a part of it.
Time will tell if this is indeed the key save of the game for the Wolves in the contest. The penalty to Tilly is over. He's back on the ice. Todd White, one of the most dangerous finishers in the IHL, had it on his backhand. Wendell Young was there to make the save. Although I would imagine Wendell Young has a little bit of experience stopping Todd White from practice a couple of years ago.
That's right. White played with Young back in 98-99. 8:46 left in the third. The Wolves are back at full strength, trailing 2-1. High slot now. Kwiatkowski shoots, blocked. Rebound, sent up the middle and out to center ice. Here's Noonan. Over the line, right side, Lawrence. Far point. Shoots, partially blocked. Over the near side, Neal. Couldn't get it by Aikens at the near point. Near circle now, Belanger shoots. Elvin knocked it down. That was a knuckleball. Far corner now. Belanger tried to spin it out in front, fanned. When it comes out to center ice. High slot of the Wolves zone, Aikens. Drives it up the near side glass and out to the neutral zone. Demidov, high slot. Poked it ahead, and we have a two-line pass and a stop in play.
Teams love big goaltenders, and the Wolves love tonight's attendance, 17,618, third highest all time in Wolves history. And by the way, those top three games, all against Grand Rapids, kind of like Super Bowls, you know? Top 10 programs, most of them are Super Bowls. Top three Wolves attendance, all against Grand Rapids.
Far corner, the Griffins snag the puck. Behind his net, it's Pitsayev. He'll leave it for Richards. Drove it up the near side, just out to center ice. Now LaRouche with a steal over the line, right side. Petrovicki at the far point. Into the slot, Brown. A one-time pass, or maybe a shot, and it went off the heel of his stick. And into the far corner, we've got a Wolves penalty upcoming as Oliver got dragged down out at center ice, and Brown is going to head off. Jerry Pateman has certainly had his eye on number 44 in white tonight.
Well, here's the thing now, Judd. If the Wolves do indeed kill this penalty off, the Wolves will only have about 5.5 minutes left to try and get the goal that will send this one into overtime. And Rob Brown, not a flagrant violation, but nonetheless, you're going to get called for that, especially in the neutral zone now.
Well, it looked like Oliver felt Brown's stick in his midsection and, just blew an edge.
Well, and a veteran play by Oliver, too. You know, you might as well try and get that call. You're in the neutral zone, so it's a good place to try and take it if you can get it.
And so the Griffins back to the power play. This is their 6th chance. High slot now, Bouchard. Far circle, Butsayev. Rink wide. He just missed Oliver, or pardon me, Roberts. The Wolves, did they get it out? Apparently not. It was close up high. The near point, Butsayev lost it. And here's Dan Plante breaking the other way. Over the line, left side, Plante. Plante at the near point. Lobs one to the far wall. Treble shoots. That one goes behind the net. Along the near side, Bouchard able to trap Lawrence. And we get a face-off, or pardon me, that's Plante. And we get a stop. 7:03 left in the third. Wolves short for another minute 20.
If you look at the scoreboard, Judd, and you look at the tally of face-offs won, the Grand Rapids Griffins have won 28, the Wolves 27. But you know what? It sure seems like here in the last 6 or 7 minutes that the Griffins are winning the majority of the faceoffs. Even when the Wolves were on that power play a while back, it was the Griffins that were winning the faceoffs, and that's really starting to hurt the Wolves.
Around the near circle of the Griffin zone. Rose, excellent penalty killer. Unable to win the faceoff from Gorovikov, who had the go-ahead goal here early in the third. The Wolves led 1-0 after one, and they had that lead until the waning moments of the second. Now near circle, Roberts in the Wolves zone. Shoots Young, a glove save, as Roberts tried to pick the short near side.
Wendell Young flashing up the glove and making the save. The rest of the Wolves need to kind of help out Wendell Young here, because he's made some good saves here, especially when the Grand Rapids Griffins have been on the power play the last couple of moments. Here it is, snapped right from the dot. Got a lot on it, and Wendell Young there to make the save. Tough decision, too, because from that position, you don't know whether he's going to pass it or shoot it. Roberts got some open room.
High slot, Roberts drills it over the crossbar. A lot of traffic out in front of Young. Shaslevy in the far corner. Shaslevy centers. Young poked it over to the far corner. Wolves short for another 48 seconds. Dahl behind the Wolves net. Drives it around to the far side, and this goes down the length of the ice thanks to Steve LaRouche's work at the far point. Albin lead it back to the net. Crowley banks it to his fellow point man, David Roberts. Played a little bit with St. Louis, Vancouver, and Edmonton. Right circle now, White in the Wolves zone. Tried to center, blocked by Young. Far circle, Crowley wanted to unload, and that puck hopped up on him. Far corner, Treble. Drove it up the far side, not out. Now the Wolves kick it out. Look out, might have a break here. Over the line, right side, Petrovicki. Into the slot. The puck's still rolling around. It's underneath some legs. And we're going to have a Griffins penalty, as Mike Crowley might have been forced to take down Neil Brady there. I believe it was Brady in the slot fighting for the puck. And so the Wolves will go on the power play here in 2 seconds.
Well, Crowley has had all sorts of problems on that point in the power play. Watch this. First of all, he sees Brady blow by him, now tries to hold him up. Petrovicki gets to the puck. Roberts comes in, makes a nice defensive play, but there's Brady still trying to get at the puck. Crowley just grabs a hold of him and hauls him down, and the Wolves now are going to get a power play in 2 seconds, so it is imperative that they start this power play off by winning a draw.
The Wolves thus far on the power play scoreless on 4 chances, 5:45 left in regulation.
Really need a face-off win here.
Jesse Belanger out to do just that. Belanger awaiting the drop of the puck. He wins it. Far point now, Nardella. High slot. Tilly shoots. Albin the save. And Albin able to cover. It gives no rebound. And Rob Brown out of the sin bin. Brown with an assist tonight.
So now the Wolves will have all their top octane weapons on their power play on the ice. And again, you saw how it starts if you can win the draw. And Jesse Belanger did a nice job of not only winning the draw, but getting it cleanly back to the point. And from there, you can get it all going. Brian Noonan out there. Belanger will take the draw. Here we go. Belanger, clean face-off win. Gets it back to Bob Nardella. Rolls it over to Tom Tilley. Got a lot on the shot. As a matter of fact, that was knuckling along the ice. That was a tough save.
Well, this time Patterson beats Belanger in the face-off, and the Griffins clear it down the length of the ice. Jesse Belanger saying before the game he didn't feel like the Wolves worked very hard on the power play last night. Not hard enough. They got to simplify things and increase their effort. Over the line, high slot now, Brown. Backhands it behind Albin. He'll play it over to the near side. Nardella waits for it, has it. It's passed down low, blocked, and sent back into the Wolves zone. The Wolves not getting a lot of shots from up high. Brown over the line left side, and we have a 2-line pass. And the Wolves quite dejected.
Well, I think what the linesman saw is that Rob Brown made sure he stayed on side, but let the puck go by him, and I believe the puck did cross 2 lines. Let's check it out. Well, you can't. It had to cross 2 lines because Noonan was back behind his own blue line when he passed it. And I think where Rob Brown got a little bit confused maybe. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. That won't work.
Well, a minute 15 left in this Wolves power play. 5 minutes left in regulation. The Wolves trailing 2-1. Here's Nardella. Sprints over the line, high slot. And we have an offside as Noonan can't get in sync.
I want to go back to the previous offside, Judd. What Rob Brown was doing is he was making sure that he didn't go over the line before the puck did, and he did not. And I think Rob Brown was reacting to the fact that he was probably thinking, hey, I did my job, I stayed onside, but it was the pass that was the problem, not the decision of Rob Brown.
John Anderson's team has had problems getting into the zone here early in the season with a man advantage. 1:05 left on this Wolves power play. Nardello over the line left side for Noonan near point. Rink wide, Brown shoots just wide, looking for deflection. Near point, Tilly able to keep it in. King couldn't get it out. Now Noonan swings it near circle. Belanger shoots. Elvin the save. Rebound. He's able to freeze just outside the crease. He had a hard time tracking that biscuit down.
Wolves changing up a little bit in the power play. If you remember the power play they had earlier in this period, they tried to dump it in. Now they've been trying to carry it and actually been getting some decent chances. Griffins lying down all over the ice. Chad Albin able to get to the puck and cover it up. Belanger with all sorts of room, but again, not being able to get it airborne.
Albin played very well tonight. Faced 32 shots, made 31 saves. On near circle in the Griffins' end. The Wolves win another face-off. Near point, Featherstone looks in, shoots, Albin a glove save, and that a nice one. It slowed up a little bit and got redirected as it went off Ed Patterson.
If Chad Albin gets the victory in this game tonight, it would be his second IHL victory. And Judd, I know you have an encyclopedic memory. Who did Chad Albin's other IHL win come against?
The Wolves.
And do you remember the circumstances? Game in Houston, the Wolves had traveled. It was an afternoon game in Houston. They had traveled that morning after a night game the previous night in Orlando, and the Wolves just had no legs in that game, as I recall.
You are correct, and the Wolves were shut out in that game. On near circle, the Griffins zone. The Griffins able to win this faceoff, and Bouchard hammers it around to the far side and down the length of the ice. Still a lot of time on the power play, half a minute. 4:17 left in regulation. 2-1 Griffins. Opening night here at the Allstate Arena. Here's Featherstone. Motors over the line right side. He'll get it deep. He'll chase after it himself. Maniluk far corner. Look out. Rouge came down low and the puck skipped by him. But Grand Rapids just content to fire at the length of the ice. For one more quick rush up the ice with this man advantage. Here's Petrovicki. Petrovicki center circle. He wants to carry it across and does. Left corner, Petrovicki stops. Sends it up high, and Mike Crowley just out of the box, able to take Glenn Featherstone's stick. And so the puck is out at center ice. Here's Petrovicki into the slot. LaRouche, backhand. That blocked by Albin, who was knocked down. Near point now, Nardello. Far circle, LaRouche shoots, blocked, and Albin gloves it. And we get a stop and play. 3:25 left in the third. 2-1 Grand Rapids. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
Just make sure it's a leather-wrapped steering wheel in a Mercury Mountaineer, the VIP of SUVs. With leather seating, a powerful V8, and more. Get the extras you want without paying extra, including no-charge leather, $1,500 cash back, plus low APR financing. Take luxury to the limit in a Mercury Mountaineer. See your local Mercury dealer today.
It's a world-class city with a hometown feel. And it's the place people the world over proudly call their home. Chicagoland. In a town that moves 24 hours a day, there is only one channel that delivers news, weather, sports, and more 24 hours a day. From downtown to your town, come home to your local news.
Tennis phenom defeated Steffi
Which high schooler did the Clippers draft? Greg Vaughn.
UNLV.
Goreha? Joe Gibbs. Correct.
Yes!
Test your sports knowledge by watching the ultimate sports quiz show.
What White Sox slugger's nickname is the Big Hurt?